It'll be ICE, not the military. So why in the world is this so controversial? Democrats, the resistance, they're out there all over the place saying they're going to resist at all accounts. And I'm going to play you Democrat Representative Molton. He's from Massachusetts. He's under fire, and he's doubling down because he told the New York Times, and then I have some sound of him, that why is he not able to say he doesn't want his girls they play sports, against males who might injure them or unfairly compete against them. And for that, the world is ending for this guy. They can't change. They're not going to change. What the Democrats are going to try to do is to camouflage better, if they can, exactly what they're all about. Now, I have my big list today. A lot of action over the weekend. Linda Kearns and others saying they should have been, where are they on the list? I have the top 10 of people who here in Pennsylvania, meaning they're here in Pennsylvania, their activities were here in Pennsylvania, delivered Pennsylvania for President Trump. You may differ. Everybody knows who number one is, but you may differ with my second choice. All right, Jim, are we ready there? Oh, Henry. Okay, here we go. Here is, this is cut 17. Here's a little bit of a flashback. Tom Homan duking it out when he was the head of ICE with AOC. By the way, AOC's district, first time in 70 years, the Democrat presidential candidate did not get over 70%. That's how well Trump did in the district of districts. That would be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. He got into the, I think he got around 32%. So they couldn't even break 70% in the district where 80, 85, 90 you need most times. That's how widespread this was. By the way, I'm a giant. I don't mind it. It was awkward a little bit. I'm about getting ready to pay yesterday. Guy comes up, listener, real nice listener, as I'm pivoting to go pay after putting stuff in our bags, and says he was just at Tun Tavern, the really developed Tun Tavern, the Marines, where they were founded in downtown Philadelphia, how big the crowd was and how happy it was. I wrote it down right there on the back of the grocery slip for Veterans Day. And I think you're seeing that, and you're seeing anguish in other quarters. Here's Homan, though, toe-to-toe with AOC.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan, with
family.
all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're in the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
All right, look, here's what's not going to happen, and I think this is fine. I don't know about you. You may differ. We'll see. The Trump administration is not going to wholesale on inaugural day or any day after that, taking in 1 million people, the military kicking in doors. That's not going to happen, all right? That's what they're trying to tell people. What they're going to do with professionals from ICE, maybe hundreds or thousands of them, do what they did before on a grander scale. They're going to target between now and then criminals, national security risks, etc. And they're going to remove them in a kind of surgical manner. Now, they'll be messy. Some of these people will have weapons, and you'll see all that. But that's exactly what America voted for. And that's exactly what I want, and I think that's what's going to happen. Here's a little bit more of this Representative Molton. This is cut 23. Now, over the weekend, I did Newsmax again, and I was on with somebody who's a former Bernie Sanders advisor, now a Republican. He's African-American, writing for Daily Caller. What turned him? Well, he was on with me as the other panelist. He'll be here at 2 o'clock today. Will Pierce, maybe you've seen his stuff. But this Representative Molton said what I said in that column I keep on referencing that I wrote at the Delaware Valley Journal about a week or so before the election. You watch how this issue is going to play out, and boy, did it. And they hate it. They don't know what to do, and that's not the overall transgender issue per se. Yeah, what Harris said and all that. The part of it that really played out is what she said, how radical that was. But it's males playing against females. People don't want it. How many times do we have to tell you this? They don't care. They're wedded to it. That woman playing for San Jose State has had, well, male, masquerading as a woman or whatever terminology we want to use, has 250 kill shots in volleyball. That means somebody can jump over the net at a high level, smash the ball down on the other side. That's enormous. It's record-setting when you take into account 7 games have been forfeited. 7. And already 250 kills. Now, there have been people really injured. You can get really injured in volleyball. I'm talking about at a high level. And this is exactly the type of thing people don't want. And these women are speaking up. An assistant coach on the team did. And yet they continue to back this stuff. And they're going to continue to back it because they believe in it and significant numbers of their party. In fact, I have a cut here from CNN. Thanks for all these cuts, Henry. It was a lot. Not allowing an African-American commentator to say what I just said. He's outraged. This guy would have put this guy, you cut it, right? The guy saying what an insult, I'm not allowing it. I wish the other guy had said, oh, yeah, what are you going to do about it, buddy? Can you imagine this guy? We'll play that in a minute. Here is Representative Molton in Massachusetts under fire. He doubled down. He has girls that play sports. Here's what he said.
And so help me draw the line here between what you said, which is that as the father of daughters, you are fearful that they might be run over by formerly male athletes, to guaranteeing transgender people the right to participate in sports teams that match their gender identity. How do you hold all of that at the same time?
Oh, sure. I mean, look, this is exactly the debate we have to have. And candidly, I'm not an expert on these issues. I mean, there are people in the community who have much more specific views. But one of the consensus views that I've been hearing is that kids play co-ed sports all the time, right? I mean, I've got little kids who are just on co-ed soccer teams and everything, and that's totally normal. It's been fine for generations. But it's very different when you get to competitive sports at the college level, for example. And I've heard anecdotes from parents who've reached out to me over the past several days who share these concerns, who think it's just unfair that, transgender women or men are able to compete against their daughters. And so that's the debate that we really have to have. And I think there are some reasonable questions about what's fair from a competitiveness perspective and also what's safe at those levels.
There is no debate.
Just broadening out,
go ahead. Let's hear a little bit more. I'm sorry.
Just more broadly, I hear what you're saying about you want more debate. You want to be able to talk about these things. What do you say to the people in your party, though, who say this isn't up for debate? I don't want to debate these things. These are things I believe, and I don't think we should be even considering another position on this or a number of issues.
If you just keep preaching and talking down to people, if you just ignore the majority of voters, then that's fine. You can have that position, but we're going to keep losing elections. And in the business of politics, you actually have to win if you want to make change. And I really want to make change for the American people, and I want to protect people who are going to be attacked by Trump and the Republicans. We got to win elections to do that.
There is no way, all right? And he said something different to the New York Times. And Maureen Dowd, writing in the New York Times yesterday, with all that, she's still the principal op-ed writer in the country, right? With all the things she could have said about the election. I was just finishing my column for the Delaware Valley Journal. It should be in there this week. And in there, that column, not once but twice, she said, these women who might support abortion rights, they also want fairness for their daughters in sports, not the nonsense that we're seeing. And then she went through what Molton said and what fire he was under, because he said, why can't I say that? Because you can't, buddy. You're in the wrong party. They're not going to let you. There is no solution here. These gender identity athletes, they can play in their biological sport. It's that simple. They're not going to play in these other sports. And there's going to be a war over this. Then you know what tactic happened over the weekend. They started to say, imagine making this the number one issue in the election when it only affects a handful of people. Who said that before? Quick quiz. Remember Martha Raddatz with Vance? Only a handful. Only a handful. When they're out it, this is what they resort to. It's only a handful. No one made this the number one issue in the election. But there's only so many times you can hammer home the economy, the border, constant. This was a change-up. It's like a pitcher. And it resonated with people. It connected the dots on those that now saw how radical Harris was, how radical the Democrat Party is. No sane, reasonable person is going to say males ought to be competing against females in the manner we're talking about. They're just not. They're not going to go along with it. No matter how much you harass them, scold them, say only a handful, they're not going to do it. It's going to be around 80%. How many issues get you 80%? Very few. All right, got a lot more sound today. Dave McCormick is here at 1:10. Great to have him. He's in the center of the news. My big list coming up at 12:30. Waiting to hear the second one, Henrietta. I'll tell you during the break. Might be some controversy over that because the big list last week of the big moments I had to extend it to 11. And some people have no sense of humor. They keep on trying to just make the same old point. Have a little bit of fun with it. This isn't meant to be scientific. It's meant to be a little bit provocative.
Yeah, of course. That's why you make lists in the first place.
Yeah, for example, one on my list is Lochel's Bakery. Now, why did I put that on? Just as an illustration. It's like 11, I think. I put it on there, have a little fun, but Lochel's got people going. They wanted to show support for Trump. It ended up 46,000. If they're listening, they call into 3,000.
Yeah.
It was like a horse race. It was an inspiration. It kept us going in the dog days of the campaign. I think that was important. It showed what was happening here.
Yeah, it was a microcosm of the election.
Yeah, don't just send me Elon Musk. Same stuff. Come on, stop it already. So I'll give you the second most important is going to be, I'll tell you during the break, Henry. It's a good one. It'll get people, oh, you guys, come on now. All right, side question today, thanks to Minnie in Texas. Hit us with something that is worth the calories. Might be a lot of calories, but it's worth it. I'm going to take off the board gelato. Ro got me onto that a while ago. Oh, man. And it comes in just the right size that you might consume the whole thing, which you really shouldn't. That you got to stop, but it's hard to stop once you get going for dessert, particularly if you eat it right out of the container. And the container's fancy. It doesn't look like a ice cream carton. Can't do that. That's bad.
Yeah, that's
Nice
still on my list.
plastic.
I've never tried gelato.
Oh, you got to try it. I'll bring some in.
Oh, please.
Yeah, so I'll take gelato off. I didn't count the calories. Oh, man, if I do, millions. Henry, how about yours?
Yeah, so mine's not very common around here, I don't think. Have you ever heard of a fat sandwich?
I have not.
So a fat sandwich is essentially, we'll say, a cheesesteak, but on the cheesesteak is probably fries, mozzarella sticks, a bunch of, ranch dressing, things like that. It's a mess of a sandwich, but when you're in college and you're hungover and you need something to eat on a Sunday afternoon, really hits the spot and it's worth the calories.
Is that like a Primani sandwich?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they have coleslaw on it too. Oh,
yeah, maybe minus the coleslaw on this one.
Okay, all right, that's a good one. And it's worth the calories, hangover, everything else, sure. All right, Elise Stefanik is going to be the UN ambassador. We told you that last week. That is right on the money. Stephen Miller, remember this guy. This guy gets the juices going on the other side. He is going to be the chief of policy. He's the perfect guy for that. Nobody is going to dig into the minutiae of policy and setting policy and tightening things up in Trump world than Stephen Miller. So far, this is an all-star number of picks. Some of the biggest are yet to come, like Attorney General. That is going to be, and it's obvious to me, no Mike Pompeo, which I'm surprised. I like Mike Pompeo, but they don't want him to have any leverage for 2028. I don't think he's a threat, but they do. They want J.D. Vance. So you can see the hands of Donald Trump Jr. all over this process. I think Mike Pompeo is excellent. There's no way I see him being elected president, but they don't want to take a chance. They want Vance to be the nominee in 2028. All right, hit us with that. 855-839-1210. Coming up, Morning Joe says, why didn't the Democrats get what he was saying about Leah Thomas? Who knew that Morning Joe attacked Leah Thomas way back when? I don't remember that. All right, and your calls. Hit us with something worth the calories here on Talk Radio 1210.
President Donald Trump, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Your show is great. I've listened to your show many times.
Thank you, Mr.
Many,
President.
many times. You have a hell of an audience, by the way.
We got you, Mr. President. We got your back. People are excited
Thank
to
you.
vote for you. And
If we win Pennsylvania, we win everything.
Rich Zioli, weekday afternoons, 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
hey, it's Rich Zioli. The holidays are almost here. Is your smile ready? Ready for all those pictures? Ready for all those holiday close-ups? Well, whether it's ready or not, those holiday pictures are coming. So if it's not ready, reach out to my buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. As you know, my entire family goes to Dr. Mike. His level of care and commitment to dental excellence is simply unmatched. And if you're nervous to go see the dentist, don't be. Dr. Mike is a great guy. 2 locations to serve you in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Great music playing in the office. Great staff who works there. They're terrific people. And if you need a complex dental procedure like a dental implant, Dr. Mike has been recognized among his peers as a master of dental implants for 10 consecutive years. That's right. So get that beautiful, healthy smile you deserve. And listen, my kids go to Dr. Mike. We all go to Dr. Mike. He's my dentist. People ask him all the time, does Rich really come here? Yes, he's my dentist, and Mama Zioli discovered him for our family. So reach out to Dr. Mike today, 856-786-2020, or veneriadental.com.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. 1210. WPHT.
All right, it is Dom time here on Veterans Day. Thank you to every veteran listening or family members of veterans to thank them for us. Dave McCormick, who is a veteran here at 110, he'll break down what's going on with election denier, ? Bob Casey Jr., because the count is just next to impossible for him to win in this. And will McCormick go to the Senate orientation? Chuck Schumer says he won't allow him in there. Oh, man, you got to hear this one at 110 today. All right, couple of things. Remember, we were told, and we had on a great guy right in the center of the action in North Carolina, but it was also Florida, that FEMA was not responding to people. They were slow walking it. People were really harmed. Comes out over the weekend. Kudos to the Daily Wire, getting interviews and emails and all the rest with one of the regional managers of FEMA, who has either been changed to another position or dismissed. It's a little hard to tell. For telling FEMA workers, do not knock on the doors. Don't go to those places that have Trump signage. It's just, this is going to be out there now for years as this develops. They're going to be called before the House. Now, this person, it's not enough to dismiss from FEMA. They should be charged criminally if this turns out to be absolutely true, which it does. We have to go after criminal charges here. Don't go to the houses that have Trump signage. Avoid them. Bypass them. Don't give them government aid in the middle of this. Exactly what we were talking about. Exactly the type of thing that went on. Stunning, and we'll continue to follow this as we see what happens as they get before the House of Representatives. Our buddy Alan, not a guy, sent me a snapshot of her local Giant with a big sign. In fact, it should say, warning, warning. Remember we had Dr. Marty on Friday talking food allergies, food, RFK Jr.? It says, we want you to know that chestnuts will be in open bins in the produce aisle during the holiday season. You know, the chestnut is big in the holidays. I like a good chestnut. So just being in the produce bins, they have to put up in red giant warning signs. You know, this is years ago. This might be 15 years ago that a lot of this stuff started with peanut allergies. That was the big thing in play. I'd be interested to know, if RFK Jr. is there, why we see so many allergies now. Particularly, this started off with peanut allergies. And I'm not saying for some it's not a real thing. But imagine having to put up signage because you're going to have chestnuts, not roasting on the open fire, but they're going to be there in the produce department in open bins. Wow. Here is, this is cut 20, Henry. Here's a little bit more of President Trump. What's his plan for mass deportations of criminal illegal aliens?
I spoke to the president-elect on the phone 48 hours after his victory and asked him what he believes his mandate is. He told me it's to bring common sense back to the country. As for day one, he told me, I think we have a lot of firsts, and brought up strengthening the border. I pressed him on the price tag of his mass deportation plan, which experts say could be in the billions. He told me, quote, it's not a question of price tag. Really, we have no choice. When people have killed and murdered, they're not staying here. There is no price tag.
All right, this is the next angle. You notice you're following the playbook here. What's the next angle after a handful and all that? How much is this going to cost? And I know you're thinking, well, wait a minute. Let's tabulate the cost of all the damage done by having people here illegally. Let's tabulate that. Does that not trump whatever cost it takes to have people self-deport? Or is the case, I told you what's going to happen. Now, somebody hit me an interesting observation on Twitter. Could Trump be threatening this in order to get, other than those that are here criminally, to get Congress to change representation where it's not based on numbers, district by district, it's based on citizenship? Well, that's a great thought. That would be great leverage. I think Democrats would allow you to deport people. They want it as an issue and fight that rather than challenging it to say, you know what, we're not going to count you, because this is what they want. They want to continually flood districts with people that are here illegally because it's on the count. It gives them more power that way. And ultimately, they think that somehow or another, they're going to get them to be able to vote. So, no, I don't think Trump will have the ability to do that. One thing I saw over the weekend, I didn't mention it before, I hadn't seen it before, is Trump talking about removing any number, and he's done it in the first term a little bit, of federal agencies from Washington. That does a lot. It takes them away from the Washington think. It puts them out there among the people. And it starts to cut down on the number of federal workers in places like, Virginia, which could become a swing state. So we'll watch to see if Trump is actually able to move more federal agencies out of the Washington area and Washington, D.C. Now, I think you'd want the FBI and the others to be there. They got to be close to the center of power, et cetera. And that is going to be fascinating to see what Trump does with Department of Justice, but the FBI. And call me too parochial, but one of the things I want to know about the people behind telling good Catholics, because they were conservative Catholics, that they might be domestic terrorists. Remember that, taking down their license plate numbers and all that? The FBI in Richmond. We never have been told who they are, why they did that. They said they can't testify. It's a personnel matter. No. I think Trump's got to put in somebody there. That's one of the first tension points, one of the first areas to get rid of it. Right there is the place to go. All right, we'll take your calls, too, at 855-839-1210. Something that is worth the calories. And hit me with your thoughts on where we are. So far, Stefanik is a perfect choice for UN ambassador. Perfect choice. And I like Homan in this role. And Homan is not going to go wild. You're not going to see military. We're not going to hear any of that stuff. That's not what they're going to do. This is going to be surgical. It's not going to give them a lot of fodder. They'll still complain about it on the other side. Not going to be excess here or anything like that. Also, coming up, Joe Picozzi wins in Northeast Philadelphia. We told you about the state Senate race. We're trying to get him on. The opponent has conceded, and that's a big moment. First time we've had anybody at that level of office in Philadelphia in quite a while. The Inquirer blames Bob Brady for all this stuff. We're back to Bob Brady, who was a guest on the show on Friday. And coming up, I will give you my big list, the top 10 persons or entities. And by entities, I mean a group of people, not, something like that. I think you're going to like this. I think you're going to call in. You may joust with me a little bit over it. I made it 11 that had delivered Pennsylvania for Trump. It wasn't just the policies. It wasn't just Trump. My point is, you need this type of infrastructure to win a state like Pennsylvania. Who were the people that triggered this? One or two of them you're going to be surprised about, I think. You might guess who I think number one is. I don't think there's any dispute. That would be impossible. I would be preposterous if you call in with anybody but that. All right, phone line, so get in right now. 855-839-1210. Hey, cap off the NFL week with a chance to win NFL this week with a chance to win FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers, you can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins on tonight's game. So tonight, Monday night matchup, you can bet on an anytime touchdown, over, under rushing yards, over, under passing, scores, first score, and all that. You got to go there one time. You'll see what I mean. You can make a quick 3 or 4 or 5 same-game parlay to really increase the odds of scoring a lot of money. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com/Dom to make every moment more this season. FanDuel is the sportsbook, is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required, bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Business owners can count on McCausland Lock and Alarm to secure and control access to their facilities. Enjoy peace of mind while their access control and CCTV systems provide top-of-the-line protection for your assets. Tom McCausland's wealth of experience allows McCausland to effectively protect all types of facilities in any environment, and their customer service is unmatched. Call today, 610-430-1500. 610-430-1500. McCausland Lock and Alarm, securing your business, securing your future.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Newman Goretti High School in South Philly, Saturday, November 23rd. It's the story of Philly sports through music.
I loved it. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure I'd like it, but I'll tell you, I'm glad I came. Best ever.
He reinvented himself. It was really good, man.
The music, the singing, you laugh, you tear it up.
That's Conklin and City Rhythm at Newman Goretti High School in South Philly, November 23rd. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. You know how important online privacy and security are these days, and that's why I subscribe to Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo. Have you ever searched your name online and noticed how many sites are actually selling information about you? Privacy Pro is going to help you remove your personal info from those super creepy sites so they cannot share it or sell it. That's important to me. I know it's important to you. And you know what I love? I have my own little DuckDuckGo dashboard, so it actually keeps tabs on the progress of any ongoing removals and then lets me know if my personal information was removed. It gives me those dashboard reports in real time. Gotta love it. It's 3-in-1 subscription service, DuckDuckGo's VPN, personal information removal, as well as identity theft restoration. Get an exclusive 7-day free trial at duckduckgo.com/1210. Then you'll pay $9.99 a month. Sign up now, duckduckgo.com/1210. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Overnight low, 44, clear conditions. Tomorrow, 59 and sunny. Sunday, 62. It'll be relatively cloudy, and on Monday, 70 for the high. By Tuesday and for the rest of the week, temperatures are much more seasonable in the upper 50s.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, all that teasing, and I left the big list in my bag here. I got to get, oh, here it is. It is time, Henry.
You need order? You need structure? Why even question who to turn to? Dom Giordano tells you what's big and important in today's world and what order you need to care about it in. It's time for Dom Giordano's Big List.
All right, let me be clear on this big list because people get antsy. These are the 10 people or entities that made up of people right here in Pennsylvania, primarily, that delivered Pennsylvania for Trump. All right, in 11th position, we've added 11. It's the Jim Kenney rule, just for fun, kind of. Loschel's, the bakery. 46,000. Trump, what is it, 3,500. Harris, people still buying them, I've heard. They want to get to 50,000. In 10th position, I just teased on Twitter today I'd be doing the big list on this because so many people responded the other day that a guy named David Winkler said to me, well, I probably won't be on the list, but I wanted you to know I ran against Madeline Dean.
Oh.
And I know that if he's listening, David, please call in or somebody knows him. I wanted you to know my mission. I realize how hard it is to beat the Dean of Decency, but my mission was to pick off as many votes by having a good campaign, a viable thing for President Trump at the same time in Montgomery County. David, you made it. That really impressed me, that kind of attitude. Incrementalism.
Decency.
Yeah. And it was better this time. He did better than previous people, I think. So, David, you're in 10th position. 9th position, the Delaware Valley Journal. Now, I'm a homer on this. I write there. But the Delaware Valley Journal categorized stories across the suburbs and what was happening, like the Bucks County lines, etc., in counter to anybody else in the media other than Talk Radio 1210. So Linda and others there, Delaware Valley Journal, I have in the 9th position. In 8, it's a whole bunch of people in Philadelphia who kept down or pumped up the Trump vote. Joe DeFelice, Kevin Kelly, Jody Della Barbara, and Joe down in South Philly all did that. In 7th, Dave McCormick, who's on the show today because he ran a good race, defeated Casey, and he really helped, I think, Trump in a place like Pittsburgh. 6th place, you probably never heard of this guy. Maybe. He's been on the station, Cliff Maloney. Cliff Maloney led, I wouldn't call it a poor man's Scott Presler, but he ran a similar thing that was wildly successful also, mail-in ballot mainly, across the state where voter registration. He was on with Rich, I think, once, and he did a heck of a job. In 5th, our buddy, Captain Sean Parnell. He had the toughest task of all, leading the mail-in ballot, and I think they improved by 5% this year. In 4th position, she's not going to like it, even though it's a top 4 out of the whole world. Linda Kearns.
Ooh.
Secretary of Integrity. What, she's going to beat these? In 3rd position, got to be Jim Worthington. Not only did Worthington, the #1 fundraiser in the country, he's not just a cheerleader. He's the one that picked out McDonald's and convinced the guy to do it. You know, the guy needed some convincing there.
Yeah.
And he has his own building. How many cheerleaders have their own building where they can hold rallies for 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people? In 2nd position, Henry, the Talk Radio 1210 hosts and listeners.
Yeah.
There you go.
Big little pat on the back there.
Yeah, exactly. Where else across the state? It's a blowtorch. And, drum roll, please, the #1. No drum roll for this guy. Wait, I'm going to have to wait for the drum roll. It's worthy of this. I think people might be able to guess. There we go. That is the one and only Scott Presler. So here's the list, the top 11. Presler, Talk Radio 1210, host and listeners, Jim Worthington, Bucks County, Linda Kearns, Sean Parnell, Cliff Maloney, Dave McCormick, the Philly people, Delaware Valley Journal, Dave Winkler, and Loschels. All right, Henry, you disputed some the other day. You have no dispute with one, right?
No. One, it absolutely should be Scott Presler. No one worked harder than him. I got to put Linda Kearns in the top 3, though. I mean, above us and the listeners. I understand we all did our part here.
Oh, man.
But the amount of paperwork I think Linda had to go through, I think
all right,
that's enough torture to put her in the top 3.
If you ever text her, just text her. I'm sure she let her make her case here. I'll make my case. She's only one person doing all, and it was great. And I think the argument I would make is she not only helped to keep the election, no shenanigans, but our people bought into that because we had her on there. But where did she mainly get her message out? Talk Radio 1210.
Fair point.
Yes.
Fair point.
So Linda, call in, or let's get her on for a moment. How can she dispute the top 4? Oh my God! Come on. I really had to go back and forth with Kearns, Worthington, and Talk Radio 1210, but I had to go with Talk Radio 1210. I was thinking of putting it first and Scott Presler second, but come on.
No.
You just can't. You can only go so far.
That guy pushed himself to complete exhaustion.
Oh, God.
Got to be #1.
He had a staff of 70 by the end of this. It's like we made him up. You can't imagine. And he's already back going for 2026 now. That's shocking. All right, you can give me your reaction to that at 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, you push pound 1210. Henry, is there anybody else, though, that you think was worthy out there, mine or otherwise? I think I captured most of them.
Yeah, I think you got the essence of it pretty spot on. I don't think there's any more local additions you could throw on there.
No, and across the state. Look, I don't know the whole state and all that stuff, but these people here, I know what they did here, and we were in the center of the action in southeastern Pennsylvania. What happened in those collar counties in Philadelphia made all the difference. All right, so 855-839-1210. That's how you'll get it. I'll put this up on Twitter, then the snipers can start on it. But the Loshals just came to me last night. What the heck? I think the cookie thing got people going. They couldn't wait to vote and inspired it. Every day we need the cookie updates.
Yeah, it made people feel like, oh, we have a chance this time around.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And Eric Trump was the originator of it when we had him on. It was a lot of fun. I don't know if they reach 50,000 or not. But that's the Jim Kenney slot. In the future big list, we'll probably have 11. The 11th is sort of just a fun thing to put in there. I'm still getting over when they sent Jim Kenney out there. That was a moment. Oh, guess what James Carvell said over the weekend was the number one moment that sunk Kamala Harris. The number one moment on my big list last week. When she was on The View, she got that layup. How do you differ than Biden? He said the same thing. It makes a lot of sense. I know you think the assassination and all that, yes, but the media tamped that down, et cetera. That was a bad moment for Harris. It took away anything, change candidacy, whatever. And the stealth issue that I think beat out abortion, came in third place among issues, was the transgender stuff. Abortion did not move the needle like I think this did with low propensity voters. All right. Let's go to Alan in Hamilton. Side question today. From Minnie, something that is worth the calories. All right, Alan, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Afternoon, Alan. Hi.
Hello. I'd like to nominate the Donkey Steak, Camden's finest, and Delaware Valley's finest.
What makes that so worth it? How many calories? What else is in there?
More calories than I can imagine.
Okay.
And steak and cheese and the onions.
Right. Yeah.
With Bermuda onions. They're very,
I love the Bermuda onion. Yeah, I've heard of it. It's in Camden, right?
That's right, and you should go there because if you do, you'll join the club.
All right, I don't see myself eating that anytime soon.
I gotta try it because as much
yes.
hype as like Angelo's gets around here,
Yes.
like I think it's the same thing with donkeys. Like you gotta go try it.
Well, it was actually in the show that was set in Jenkintown. Why am I blanking?
I'm blanking on it too.
I know it because of the Kremp family. Well, we'll think of the name of it, but they did an adventure there, kind of a mystery or something at that spot. Yeah, it's
the
prominent.
Goldbergs,
yeah. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Hit us. Don't wait till the very end to see what people do. And give me your reaction to the big list. That's how I see what happened here in Pennsylvania. Always looking for other big list areas, something you'd like to hear. It's a lot of fun when people concoct their own, and some people get kind of crazy with it. I thought the moments of the campaign were pretty much spot on. And I still think Harris doing what she did, because the Trump shooting, it was enormous at the time. But then as, things went on, the media was able to suppress it, even with the second that was there. I mean, the people that saw that were Trump supporters, they were galvanized even more, no doubt. But Harris on The View, that was an unforced error, big time. All right. It's important to make sure that our families have the essentials, food, shelter, and, of course, pure, clean drinking water. There's a lot of news about drinking water these days. Do what I did. Count on Martin Water Conditioning to secure your family's drinking water. The Kinetico system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of that tap is crystal clear, all-natural water. Not only is it the best tasting water ever, it provides peace of mind knowing that your family's water is pure and clean. The Martin Water Conditioning family is passionate about water. They'll put their 46 years of experience to work for you. I know our guy Dwayne has been out to the house, and customer service is beyond belief. Attention to detail. They love showing you getting those impurities out of the water. This is a free test, and they recommend solutions that make sense for you. So contact Martin Water Conditioning. They'll take great care of you. You can do it two ways. Go to martinwater.com or call 800-887-7555. 800-887-7555. Whatever you do, tell them Dom G sent you.
Hey, it's Nick Kale. As part of our Veteran Spotlight program, we are asking you to nominate a local World War II veteran to be featured on our show the week of November 11th. Go to 1210WPHT.com to submit a photo and quick story of a local vet so that we can celebrate his or her remarkable commitment and exceptional service during World War II. Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, nurses, service pilots, medical staff, we want to hear your story. Visit 1210WPHT.com to submit your nomination. Veteran Spotlight is a partnership program with the Travis Manion Foundation presented by Window Nation. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
Dawn Stensland here. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles feature the latest luxury vehicles from today's top brands. Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. Sleek new designs and innovative features with thousands of new and certified pre-owned vehicles available across Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Visit PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Wawa's hot turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets, because hot turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Dom Giordano show. So, Linda Kern's mom may have been, just Henry telling me that, disputes the positioning there on the big list. And somebody on Twitter, you can't rate stuff like that. I just asked why. Well, what in the world? Why can't I rate who it is I think delivered Pennsylvania to Trump? Why?
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm going to continue to do the big list. I don't know how having fun with the big list, et cetera. And if you don't like part of it, you can send me your own, put it up on my Twitter at DomShow1210. Oh, man, I'm watching women now on Fox and TikTok shave their heads like those women in France who did it because they consorted with Nazis because of the Trump win. They're also taking it, and I read for our book club this book about a woman in Dickens, London, I guess it was, who ran a place where women could go to off their husband with various poisons that were not detectable. Women now are touting this aqua tofina, tattoos of it.
That's how you say
it.
Yeah,
as it go back to 17th century, something, an Italian woman who did the same thing with helping you poison men because of the men in this election. Oh, my God. This is the way to win hearts and minds. Poison your significant other coming off this.
I can tell you in that video you sent me earlier, none of those people are married. They don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. In fact, here's a little bit of it. You have to listen closely. Here's the woman at the end whispering what this is all about, what to do to these nasty men. Cut 12.
Aqua Tofana. Am I right? Aqua Tofana. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Aqua Tofana. Let's poison men. Cut 10, Henry, going to play next. Let me set this up. Bernie Sanders was all over Sunday shows, and he's going to make the point here that Biden kept his word on being the most progressive president since FDR. Now, thank God Biden did this in addition to the mental lapses and all that. We get it. But I told you the root of all of this pain. And in the next hour, the Enquirer's got a headline today after all this saying that they're interviewing people saying the Republicans were tricky with how GOP messaging broke through a booming economy to reach Trump voters. A booming economy. Here's Sanders, and we told you this early on. Biden was meeting with these historians and others who served their grandfather or something serves with FDR. They filled his head up even as much as you can with his dolt, telling him to be big, he had to do FDR, he had to do LBJ. Bernie Sanders gives him an A for that effort. Listen to this.
You've heard some of the reaction throughout the Democratic Party. How much do you personally blame President Biden for this loss?
President Biden, when he came into office, said that he would be the most progressive president since FDR. And I think on domestic issues, not foreign policy, on domestic issues, he has kept his word, and the agenda that he has pushed through has been an extraordinarily strong one. But that agenda has got to be placed within the overall context of American society today. And that American society today is one in which tens of millions of working families and elderly people are struggling, while the people on top have never had it so good.
But, Senator, should he have gotten out of the race more quickly?
Okay, they're going off the point on that one, Henry. Thank you. So this is the point with Biden. He did what he did. That's where the inflation came from. And they still refuse to at least ask for forgiveness for doing this to middle-class Americans. I'm looking at the Enquirer here. They interview people who are middle-class Americans, and they say these people are complaining. They've had to cut back on stuff. Why should they have to cut back? What was the national emergency that made them have to cut back? Nothing. Biden wanted to go big. When you print money in this manner, the dollar is, and by the way, great news on the dollar since the election of President Trump, zooming back to its rightful place. Biden did it, he broke it, and the middle class suffered. Oh, so you're willing to vote for Trump just because of the economy? Well, what were Democrats going to do differently? What is it they were going to do for people other than mock them, scold them, and tell them they couldn't vote for Trump? They had nothing, and they were going to continue to crush them with inflation. All right, coming up in about 10 minutes, We'll get you an update from the guy right in the center of the news, Senator-elect, I think he's Senator, Dave McCormick, who still has Bob Casey Jr. somehow or another having people challenge and count ballots, even though I think he's about 40,000 down. Schumer says he will not seat him for orientation. Dave, and you're going to hear him, says he's going. Uh-oh. All right, that all unfolds next here on Talk Radio 1210.
Hi, Dawn Stensland here. You've heard me talk about Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding for years now. How much I love the work the Chapman family team has done in my home, especially that wall of glass patio doors that replaced some windows when you walk into my foyer area. You know by now if I needed windows, doors, or siding, I would only trust the Chapman team. But did you know they also install shutters? A perfect complement to your new windows. For the month of November, Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding is giving away a pair of shutters when you purchase 2 pairs. The right shutters can really enhance the curb appeal of your home. Whether you or somebody you know are looking for windows, doors, siding, shutters, or hardware, just give them a call. You can text them. They're local. 610-431-8898. That's 610-431-8898. You can always take a virtual tour online, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Get all the details. That's ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Attention Black Friday shoppers. TurnersvilleJeep.com is celebrating Black Friday deals all month long. Wranglers, Grand Cherokees, Compasses, and Ram trucks as low as $349 per month with 0 down. Example 2024 Jeep Compass. VIN number RT156841. 4-cylinder auto PSPB AC. MSRP $35,935. Close-in lease. Payments of $349 a month for 42 months with $349 due at inception. Total payment $14,658. 7,500 miles per year. Residual value $17,967. Tier 1 credit through Stellantis Financial. Includes $4,250 in rebates. Includes all fees except tax, title, registration, and $599 doc fee. Offer not valid with trade-in. Offer subject to credit approval by third party. Ends 11/30/2024.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Hi, this is Joe Mederchik, PNC Bank Regional President. People ask us, is PNC just a boring bank? Well, that depends. Is starting a business boring, or being the first person in your family to go to college? For nearly 160 years, we've done the hard and occasionally boring work of banking to deliver brilliant results to our clients. To see what boring banking can do for you, stop into any of our local branches right here in the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/rain to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/rain. That's leaffilter.com/rain.
Odyssey's I'm Listening is our commitment to more mental health conversations. Mike Shinoda from Lincoln Park talks about being willing to be open and talk about their mental health.
What is my mental health right now? And it feels like it's low, or you're looking at your spouse or friend or whoever, and you're saying, I think that they're having a really bad day. It should be cause for action.
Talk saves lives. For more mental health conversations, visit imlistening.org.
Let's talk about your mental health.
free from fear or judgment. Most people experience feelings of depression, anxiety, grief, and hopelessness when dealing with stressful life events. If you need to talk, call or text 988 to connect with a trained professional who is ready to listen and provide support 24/7. The Philadelphia Crisis Line has trained counselors who get it. They understand that sometimes you need an ally, someone who will listen and get you the support and services you need. Call or text 988 because you matter.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. So we told you the big story yesterday. Tom Homan will play you a little bit. Former head of ICE will be in charge of everything, including deportation. Philadelphia Inquirer interviews people here in Philadelphia saying they will turn to the church to give sanctuary and also to push back against President Trump. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the Catholic Church says about all this. I'm going to wait to see because I think that Trump is going to be going after people that are criminals and national security risk. And then we'll see when the dust clears what happens next, where they go. All right? But already we're seeing the battle lines drawn on this. No, there will not be mass deportations on day one or anything like that. It's going to be more targeted, which I think is the right approach. Also, Elise Stefanik, perfect choice. You saw what she did with the college presidents. She's the perfect choice, other than for her sanity, being the UN ambassador. It's high profile, and I think she'll do wonderfully at that. Still too soon to tell on things like Attorney General and all. And this Stephen Miller guy, you've seen him. Shaved head guy, youngish guy, is going to be in charge of policy, and he is a policy wonk. Now, Democrats here over at the Philadelphia Inquirer, I'll get to it in detail after Dave McCormick, but their headline is, in a booming economy, was it just misinformation that Republicans tied economic grievance to the minds of those blaming immigrants and everything else? They just will not stop that people are diminished by what these people have done with no reason. I've been saying this since the first month of Biden. We got the word. He's listening to these people. Go big. The Meacham guy, the Besheros guy, the guy who ran against Brian Fitzpatrick, whose grandfather served with FDR. They're all in these committees meeting with him once a month. Joe, you got to go big or go home. So he went wild. When you spend like that, when you just print money, we know what happens. What happens is you're going to have inflation. And inflation cripples countries, and it cripples the middle class. That's what's happened here. It's diminished people. They've had to make different sacrifices. Why should they? Why should they sacrifice everything? For Biden's legacy? That's all that it was about. That's the only reason. There was no reason to do this. So the Inquirer allows today a op-ed column by the guy who was the principal guy for Helen Gim. Remember her? And he was apparently the principal guy here in Philadelphia for Kamala Harris. And what's his solution? You got to fire Bob Brady. You got to get Bob Brady, the last moderate Democrat in there, who won the election for Sherelle Parker. Got to get Bob Brady out as head of the local Democrats. We had Bob on the show on Friday. It's ridiculous stuff. Just ridiculous. This is where they're going. They owe $20 million for those rock concerts they put on in the swing states on election eve. Not allegedly for the, quote, stars, but for the staging, the staff, and all the rest. And they're afraid they're not going to get paid. They had $1 billion, and they overspent it for this nonsense. Yet they wouldn't give Brady money for street money in Philadelphia. Thank God they're this elitist, this snotty, That's one of the biggest reasons they got dumped here. That's exactly it. So it will be interesting to see what Democrats in Pennsylvania do. We'll be talking in about 4 minutes or so with Dave McCormick, who is the senator-elect senator from Pennsylvania. But it's being denied by Bob Casey. Is this election denialism? Now, I said early on, just because he's a Democrat, if I were in his shoes, I would be pushing this to the max. But it's come to a point where there's, other than some 1 in a gazillion mathematical possibility for Casey to win, and even that may not be there, he's just holding this up. And Schumer has said he will not seat for orientation McCormick. What? Now, this was a big win. This gives the Republicans a pad of votes in case one of them, by the way, it's something that's inside baseball, it seems like. If this John Cornyn guy becomes the majority leader, that's it with every one of these senators. We have open rebellion against him again. It's got to be Rick Scott. Rick Scott would be fine. The senator from Florida, he's been on the show several times. The Thune guy is very suspect, but the Cornyn guy is the walking, breathing definition of a rhino of rhinos from Texas, of all places. Can't have that guy in charge of how the Senate operates. Got to be Rick Scott. And President Trump has already said he wants his people put in during the recess simply because Democrats are going to try to hold up these cabinet things forever. This is a good time to make recess appointments, then move on from there. So I'll ask Dave McCormick about that. He's up in just a moment. Joe in Columbus, though, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dom. I'll tell you, every Catholic, including myself, should go to their church and voice their opinion.
Absolutely.
As a whole voice in their congregation, because this is not sanctuary. It is not sanctuary by no means. And I'm disgusted at even the thought that the Catholic Church could be used for something like this. It's exploitation. And if we fall prey to this, our faith is over. My side question is the cannoli. And I want to give you all your staff in New Jersey a place to go to. It's the best. And I grew up in an Italian ghetto in Trenton. There's a place in Delran that cannot be beat, L&M Bakery. And I learned this from Dr. Maz's sister-in-law, who I'm very good friends with.
All right, you say that. We have a cannoli shootout here. I think Termini Brothers. I'm telling you, Dave, this is going to be a shootout. Cannoli
We'll
shootout.
Compare. Dom,
right.
We'll compare one day.
All right, no. Mark that down when
I
Dan's
wanna be
back
there
here.
for
We're gonna set this up, Dan. We're gonna have a cannoli tasting here. That's a good one. I've heard about that place. Thank you, Joe. All right, the man of the hour is with us. I'm going to call him Senator. What the heck? What are they going to do to me? What's Chuck Schumer going to do? Not seat me? I got a chair here. Let's bring in Dave McCormick. Dave, welcome back. Congratulations. And first of all, debt of gratitude to you for your military service. It's rare among public officials today, and today's a big day to celebrate all veterans.
Well, thank you, Dom. Great to be with you. And just a word of, just as you said, recognition and gratitude for everybody who's listening that's a veteran. You know, we don't have enough people these days who are signing up and volunteering for our armed services. We're in a recruiting crisis, and for those of you who've done that, thank you. And it's great to be with you. This is exciting times. You know, the country has spoken, Pennsylvania has spoken, and the people of Pennsylvania want change. And to be able to serve and feel privileged to be able to lead. And I'm getting ready here to be in the Senate and do everything in my power to be a great representative of Pennsylvania.
We know that. I mean, that's been your hallmark. You and I have seized on this from the very first time we had you on. It seems like many, many years ago, Dave, about why this backbench stuff. But what's your theory, first of all, that took down Bob Casey in this? Was it the idea that you were able to successfully and truthfully to pin him? This isn't Bob Casey Sr., and it's not even Bob Casey Jr. when he was younger. He's just become an establishment figure in Washington, not Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I think it was that. You know, I'm proud of the campaign we ran. I mean, I think it was a tough, hard-hitting campaign, but the criticism I had of Senator Casey was two things. One, that he had gone to the Senate to change Washington, and Washington changed him. He voted for a set of positions 98.6% of the time with President Biden and Vice President Harris that are just out of touch with Pennsylvanians and had contributed to the skyrocketing prices and the fentanyl crisis and silly things, or not silly, but
Dave,
just
I want to
completely
interrupt you
out of touch
there,
things.
though. You did a subtle but very effective job of connecting the border to fentanyl. Usually, even the Trump campaign somewhat did that, but it was more some of the killings we've seen. But I think the insidious nature of fentanyl connected very well, and you spent a lot of time doing that.
I did, and it was heartfelt. I mean, I sat down with fentanyl families, fentanyl parents. I'm a father. Dina and I did it together. My wife and I did it together. I'm a father of 6 daughters, and it's a poison that gets into our communities. And you listen to these parents. Almost none of the kids knew they were taking fentanyl, and it's just horrible and horrific. So I felt that very passionately as an issue that resonated with me as a parent and is affecting Pennsylvanians across our Commonwealth. So I think I was hitting on the issues where I think Senator Casey had failed us. And then the second thing, I said this and I really mean it. You're not entitled to this. And I know it's a dynasty. I know the Casey family's been in public service for 60 years. We should respect and be grateful for their service, but you got to earn it every day. There's no Casey seat in the Senate. There's the people's seat, and you got to earn it every day. You got to earn it every election. And, I really tried to earn it. I truly tried to earn the opportunity. I campaigned as hard as I've never worked so hard at anything in my life because I wanted to make sure I was touching the key issues for Pennsylvanians and showing them the kind of leadership I could offer. So, listen, it was always going to be a tight race in my mind, and I was honored that it broke my way, and I'm excited to go down there and shake things up.
Well, to that point, as soon as I hear the name Mark Elias, now the Wall Street Journal, hardly a wild outlier today, saying, is this election denialism? If I were in Casey's shoes early on, Dave, and you were with Dr. Oz, I think it's fine to count those votes, to do all that. But there is a line where somebody's got to tell the person, the line has been crossed here with these provisionals. There's no path here to continue to do this. If the process were over in a half hour, you do it, but it drags out forever.
Well, I couldn't agree more. And, I knew on election night that I had won because mathematically there was just no way that he could close the gap. But a day or two after that, the Associated Press, which is the gold standard, essentially said this race is done and concluded. And Senator Casey has decided to continue. And listen, I got some empathy for that because you and I talked at the time, Dom. I lost my primary by 900 votes.
I know.
Of 1.5 million. I mean, that's a tiny fraction compared to. I think I'm up by 0.5%. I'm up by 40,000 votes on Senator Casey. So I know how hard it is to come to grips with losing, and Senator Casey's going to come to that on his own timeline. But I think the key point is that there's no mathematical path for him to win, and we need to get on with people's business. And Pennsylvanians want change, and so I'm on my way as we speak to orientation in Washington, and I'm going to be focused from this point forward on making sure I'm in the right position to help Pennsylvanians get the changes that they demand. And it wasn't like they spoke with subtlety or with mixed views on Election Day. There was a clear and decisive mandate for the president, for Republicans, for me, to go out and bring about change, and that's what I aim to do.
Well, to that point, though, headed to Washington, are you bringing your own chair, Dave? Because I don't know if Schumer has enough musical chairs there for Dave McCormick to be seated. He says he's not going to orientate you. How do you like that?
Listen, the tyranny of Chuck Schumer is about to come to an end. He's it probably won't be. It's my first fight with Chuck Schumer, but it probably won't be my last. And listen, I'm sure he's going through his own emotional turmoil about what happened on Election Day. But the fact of the matter is that I've won this race, and I'm going to get on with the people's business.
Absolutely. Dave, one other area, then I just wanted to ask you broadly, anything you want to tell us early on what you'll be doing. But early on, we have the majority leader seat, and as best I can tell, look, if you can't answer yet, that's fine. But with Cornyn, I don't understand that at all. This would be exactly what our listeners, I would tell you, just almost 100%. There's no support. Thune, not as bad, but Rick Scott has been somebody who I've interviewed and I think would be in concert with Trump and then with Speaker Johnson. What are your thoughts on how you decide who you'll vote for?
Well, I know them all and a little bit, and we'll speak with them all over the next day or two. For me, it goes back to the point I said earlier, which is the mandate is clear. President Trump ran very specifically on his agenda. You didn't have to guess. You had to guess what Kamala Harris was going to do. You didn't have to guess what President Trump's going to do. Frankly, you didn't have to guess what I'm going to do because I laid it out on my website, DaveMcCormickPA.com, in excruciating detail. So no voter in Pennsylvania should wonder where I stand. And so for me, we need to make sure we have a leader that's going to embrace radical change, not incrementalism, and do that and both do that and be effective. And so that's the judgment that I'll be making, and I'm going to spend time with each of them and hear from them how they plan to do that. But that's where my head is on it at the moment.
All right, I would just say for listeners, then, I'm not putting you into this, but somebody like Cornyn, I don't know what he's going to tell you. I would be shocked on that. I like what you said. It is radical change. It is really shaking things up, and the Senate will be the forefront of it. And your whole posture, background, people knowing you, what you've said about Pennsylvania, I think for a freshman senator will be in the front line. That's what you've been pitching. And I think you're the guy that could do that based upon your previous experiences and the mandate here in Pennsylvania.
I think that's right. And, and everybody should be clear. I'm going to focus, day one on energy. I'm going to focus day one on inflation. I'm going to focus day one on border. These are the issues. I'm going to focus day one on law and order. These are the issues that Pennsylvanians told me. I made 500 stops this calendar year, Don.
Wow.
Dairy farms, manufacturing facilities, VFWs, bars, diners. And the message I got was clear. Those are the issues, but don't be incremental. We're unsatisfied. Our leaders have failed us. We want people who are going to shake it up. And by the way, I don't think it's unique to party. Like, I'm not doing this. As I said on the campaign trail, I'm not doing this to represent Republicans. I'm doing this to represent every single Pennsylvanian, whether they voted for me or not, independents, Democrats, Republicans. These horrible problems in this weak leadership has hurt us all. And so that's what I feel like my mandate is. I feel like I got the message loud and clear, and I'm going to go down that. As you know, I've term limited myself, Dom, so I'm not looking to get seniority. I'm looking to shake things up.
Term limit 2 terms?
Yes, sir.
2 terms. Well, I'm not,
yes,
Dave, I might shock you. Talk radio, you usually get. I'm not on board with that. I'll be telling you if you get to the 10-year mark and you're doing what I think you're going to do, why the heck would we replace you? But listeners come after me on that. You know what I mean?
I knew I've heard that before, and I'd say 2 things. One, I want to stay married, so that's an important consideration.
Yeah.
This was a negotiation to even get to this point. And then second, our forefathers, as much as I understand it, they never imagined there'd be these people like Bob Casey who were in elected office for 30 years. It wasn't their vision. So we got to get fresh blood. I'm the fresh blood, and by the time I've stopped being fresh blood, we need new fresh blood.
One other point. You mentioned inflation. We know that energy costs, and you mentioned that, but what else is it so that listeners have a sense of taking this apart, the baked-in inflation, not just the rate? What else can we do, Dave?
Well, there's 2 things driving it. The energy really is a big part of it because your fuel prices, energy prices go into everything. So not only are you seeing your electricity up 35% and your gas up 45%, the inflation you see in groceries and things you buy at the store is also driven by fuel costs. So that's a big one. It's not a small one. But second, it's just this incredibly excessive spending. And, Republicans and Democrats alike are guilty. So this is not just a Democrat thing, but it was $5 trillion of new spending under Biden. And so we got to pull some of that back, particularly the hundreds of billions of dollars of subsidies that went for EVs and solar panels and that kind of stuff. I'm for all forms of energy. I just don't think we should be distorting the market. I think we should let innovation happen where it's going to happen and not tip the scales. And listen, I'll be in favor of a balanced budget amendment. I think that's a starting point.
Yep.
And people say, listen, Trump wants to have his tax cuts, and which, by the way, were very generous to middle class families. If you made $50,000 a year, then you had a $2,500 tax break, which is very meaningful. But the difference between the tax breaks that potentially grow the deficit versus the government spending that grows the deficit is the money goes back to you. The money is in your pocket, and then you can use it to invest in your family and your business and everything else. So listen, we got a tough fiscal challenge ahead. Pro-growth economic policies, deregulation, energy dominance, curtail the excessive spending. That's the path to a great dynamic economy. We had that before under Trump, and I think we'll have it again if he has the right support in the Senate, which I will be giving him every day.
Absolutely. Dave, still haven't met you in person, even though we've talked 100 times. So I'm going to have to come to Washington. That's the only way to get to Dave McCormick at this point.
All right. Well, listen, you come down and I'll take you out for lunch, okay?
All righty. You got
Thanks,
it, Dave. Thank you, Dave
right,
McCormick.
thank you.
Thanks for
Talk to
joining
you
us today. Dave McCormick here on Talk Radio 1210. 855-839-1210. You heard his response. All right. He's got to meet with these people, Cornyn, et cetera. You heard what he said, though. So let's calm down. Radical change. That means more Rick Scott than any of the others. Okay? 855-839-1210. Hit us on the side question. Linda Kern's popping in to dispute the election here. Well, not election. I just kind of made these rankings up. Can she get listeners to what? Knock off Talk Radio 1210 out of our second position? Is she going to go for the gold, Henry, and say, more important than Scott Presler?
I think she should. She
No.
has the argument.
She can't win that argument. No, you can't beat Scott Presler.
She's a lawyer. She can win the argument.
I think Presler is like Paul Bunyan now, so it's pretty hard to do that. All right, we'll see. She's just satisfied with fourth place out of the whole world here in Pennsylvania. Oh, my goodness. It was a tight call. I could see the bronze in there. But Talk Radio 1210, come on. 855-839-1210. Give me a response to Dave McCormick. Great to get him on right in the middle of this. Chuck Schumer says, I'm not going to seat him. No orientation for you. All right. In addition to that, hit me on the side question. Hey, one of the biggest and healthiest sales of the year is back again. Rescue Natural Supplements Black Friday sale is here. Right now, Rescue is slashing prices on every supplement with discounts up to an incredible 80% off. Rescue has a wide variety of products to address your health needs, including immunity and cholesterol support, heart health, and natural energy enhancers. Grab huge savings on omega-3s, probiotics, and so much more. And one more thing. This Rescue Black Friday sale will run the entire month of November. So shop today at res-q.com, res-q.com, or call a Rescue product consultant right now at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Again, all Rescue supplements are up to 80% off during the entire month of November. So why wait? Shop massive savings on essential supplements at res-q.com. Do it now.
What do you call the NordVPN Black Friday deal, huh? The Block Friday deal. Because you block online threats. Black Friday, Block Friday. Get it? It's hilarious. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal and block online threats now. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic. Its Threat Protection Pro tool will defend you against web trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. Get the special Black Friday deal at NordVPN.com and enjoy safer internet daily. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Gerhardt's Appliances has what you need to be tailgate ready this season for the birds. Whether it's the in-home appliances needed to prepare your famous Kelly green pepper casserole before pregame, or the barbecue grills you'll need to fire up the last of your sausage links in the parking lot before kickoff, Gerhardt's has you covered with the best game day deals on appliances. Gerhardt's Appliances, helping Philly sports fans get the season cooking since 1945. Visit Gerhardt'sAppliance.com.
They call me the Bubble Wrap Mom. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Yeah, I'm always concerned about safety and privacy, but it goes well beyond being just a protective parent. And that's where DuckDuckGo's Privacy Pro comes in. It's actually a 3-in-1 subscription service. And yes, it includes DuckDuckGo's VPN, personal information removal, as well as identity theft restoration. All three are pretty incredible, but I love the VPN because it gives me that extra layer of online protection. So the other day I was getting my hair done, and you know how usually it'll come in not a secure connection. I don't have to deal with that because, of course, DuckDuckGo's VPN secures your Wi-Fi connection. Anytime, anywhere, at home, work, in the coffee shop, or, if I'm getting my hair done. So I hope you check it out. Right now, get an exclusive 7-day free trial at DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Then you'll pay $9.99 a month. Again, DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
You're a winner this winter when you play Borgata's Winning Wonderland. From now through December 28th, earn entries in slot and table games for your stake in over $1 million in prizes, including 2 2025 Land Rover Range Rovers, each valued at over $150,000. Drawings take place every Saturday with grand prize drawings on November 30th and December 28th. For details, visit theborgata.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Larry Sinus with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows. And you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Sinus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now. RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Overnight low, 44, clear conditions. Tomorrow, 59 and sunny. Sunday, 62. It'll be relatively cloudy, and on Monday, 70 for the high. By Tuesday and for the rest of the week, temperatures are much more seasonable in the upper 50s.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Tom Giordano's show. Linda Kern's coming up, and then I'll take apart a little bit the Inquirer, how GOP messaging broke through a booming economy to reach Trump voters. Booming economy. How many times? They can't stop it. They will not stop it. Let's go to John in Cheltenham on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, John, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dom. How you doing?
Good.
Great show.
Thank you, John.
Just heard your interview with Dave McCormick. I was on Trump Force 47, worked the polls all day from 6 a.m. to 9 at night, and helped hopefully a little bit to help get President Trump and his agenda elected.
Well,
and
thank you, John. Where were you, in Cheltenham?
Yeah, Cheltenham, PA, Cheltenham Village area, heavily Democratic area, 21,000 Dems to 3,700 Republicans, and only 2,800 Independents. So
yeah,
it was a interesting day, needless to say. But thank you guys for what you do. And I just had a great suggestion. I hope that you'll think this is a great suggestion, is to Dave McCormick invited you to have lunch with him when he gets settled in Washington. And I thought, what would be the possibility of doing a remote broadcast from his office right in Washington, D.C., once he's settled and seated as a senator, a new senator
I
from
would be
Pennsylvania.
completely on board with that. We did that with several people from their office. And what happens, John, they corral other people coming in. I did it with Michelle Bachmann, and somehow or another, Shaka Fatah saddled up to the mic there inside her office. It was nuts. It's disarming when you're in one of those offices, Senate or Congress, and they're passing by, and if they're curious a little bit. So I wrote it down, John. Your mind was on the exact same thing, and I'd love to do it. I'd love to do it on a regular basis with him, because I think this guy's going to be front and center on a lot of issues.
Absolutely. He's right down in the heart of understanding all the issues that was on everybody's mind and mindset and in their hearts. And I think, a large, registration of basically Reagan Democrats came out and voted for Trump as a way to get him over the top as well.
Exactly.
When the final numbers and analysis is done, you're going to see that it crossed both aisles as far as the things that were most important on people's minds.
Thank you, John, and thanks for that polling service too. Speaking of that, the diva of the poll watchers, training, etc., is on the on-deck circle. I may have to let Henry be the court here. I'm gearing up ipso facto. I'm gearing up the Volsang case. That was my first week in law school. But this woman is a national figure, Linda Kearns. What chance do I have? She thinks she should be higher in delivering Pennsylvania for Trump. Will she dare to say number one? Henry, what's your guess?
I think she should.
Oh, my God. It's preposterous. As good as she was. Right there. That's problem. Settle for the silver. Maybe you can make an argument. I have all the hosts and listeners of Talk Radio 1210 on my side.
Well, you got to, what is it? Shoot for the stars, land on the moon, or whatever. So maybe I got that mixed up.
We'll see. She thinks big, without a doubt. Joe in Bordentown. All right, Joe, what's your answer to the side today?
That would be baked Alaska, which the full one is 2,025 calories, and a piece of it is 254 calories.
Wow. Why is that worth the calories?
Well, I mean, it was originally served at Delmonico's in New York,
right,
to celebrate the acquisition of Alaska from Russia.
Okay, very nice, Joe. I like the specificity on the calories. All right, that's really good.
I had to look that one up. I'd never seen this before.
Yeah, that's very good.
It's an interesting dessert for sure.
All right, Linda Kearns next. Your calls at 855-839-1210. You get on board. You know she was at the desk, I remember, even on Labor Day, when they put up the phony Kamala Harris Eagles poster, etc., right there on the spot. I take all that into consideration, but come on now. This is just too much. Scott Presler? Come on now. This is taking – now? Okay, Henry's saying let's go to her now. All right, yeah. She's chomping at the bit here in the green room. Hey, Linda, we're violating all procedures of spot running, et cetera, to go to you. How you doing today?
Hey, good afternoon, Dom. How are you?
Good. Now, we believe your mom called in and threatened listenership over this. What?
Yeah, my mother lives in New Jersey, so she will no longer be listening, and neither were any of her friends. So you lost a lot of listeners by not putting me higher in that rank.
Well, okay.
So I'm just letting you know that. But Dom, the ranks, it's not important to me. I think your listeners know who the real hero of this election was, so I'm not going to worry about your rankings.
Oh, that's nicely played. But you're right there meaningfully in Pennsylvania. Again, it was a two-prong, not only stopping any shenanigans, but you were so convincing with listeners, I think it egged them on toward mail-in balloting, et cetera, gave them encouragement without a doubt.
Right, Tom. I mean, the reason that President Trump and Chairman Whatley hired me was because we had a real problem in Pennsylvania about faith in voting, and get out the vote operations go hand in hand with election integrity operations.
Yes.
And Chairman Whatley and President Trump knew that if our voters in Pennsylvania did not have faith in the system, did not believe that their vote would count, it didn't matter how much of a get out the vote operation we would have, because you still need to get those people to the polls, and they're not going to go to the polls if they don't have faith in the system. So that was my job, and I trained thousands upon thousands of poll watchers and poll workers and lawyers with my absolutely amazing team. And you guys at 1210 WPHT, obviously you gave me a great forum, but the RNC had me out on all types of media, and I did dozens of interviews because we really wanted to make sure that our story got out there, what we were doing to maintain election integrity. And I'm thrilled that it worked, because I do believe that the reason that we just overcame everything in Pennsylvania was because we convinced our voters that their vote would count. And I did what Chairman Whatley and what President Trump hired me to do, and for that I am very proud.
Well, without a doubt. And Linda, again, I don't know each state. I don't know that you do either, like Michigan or Wisconsin. I have to say, here in Pennsylvania, this was the A team, though, of the people I recognized here, you included. You just don't get better than this. That shows the importance of the state and the right choice. Give us an idea, though. How did they pick Linda Kearns? Did they know of you from what? That 2020, right there in the convention center.
Right. Well, I represented President Trump in 2020, so represented the campaign in 2016, and I have a long history here in Pennsylvania as an election law lawyer, and I'm a member of the Republican National Lawyers Association, and I do a lot of lecturing at their meetings. So, and I don't think that there's really anyone else in Pennsylvania to choose, frankly. So, I was thrilled to do it.
The whole branding, too, the integrity, the whole thing, the branding of it was really important. It really signified what you were doing. To that point, Bob Casey Jr., look, it would be very hard for me. I don't know how Dave McCormick, Linda, who was just on, ended conceding with Dr. Oz. I respect that a lot. You have a sense of me. I would just be in there saying we're going to count the votes again or something. But Casey has gone too far here, particularly with these attacks on Trump from 2020. And I don't know if it was on Twitter or not, I saw it with Mark Elias. It's always a dangerous sign when he's involved. What are your thoughts on what Casey's still doing?
Well, I'm working on that now, actually. Right. We have lawyers in the counties, and right now all of the counties are working on provisional ballots and challenges to mail ballots. So they are opening the provisional ballots, and they're checking them. They're making sure that the voters are registered, that they voted in their correct division, that they signed the ballots, and then people can lodge challenges. So both the Democrats and the Republicans can lodge challenges if there's defects in either the mail ballots or the provisional ballots. So that's what's happening now, and the counties are scheduling hearings. So that's all happening. The issue is, though, that even if Casey won every single ballot challenge, there's still not enough ballots for him to close the loop between him and Dave McCormick. The other thing that we're flirting with right now is automatic recount. Yeah. If the difference between Casey and McCormick is less than 0.5%, that's an automatic recount. So I am now scheduling people in all 67 counties to make sure that we have people available to be at the recounts, which is each county has to basically rescan the ballots, the machine ballots, and then the mail ballots. So we are working on that right now, but we're obviously confident in McCormick's win, but we're not. Our election integrity program is certainly not giving up the fight, so we're ready.
Could that take a matter of a couple of weeks? That sounds very involved. It's almost vote by vote.
No, by law, the Secretary of State has until Thursday at 5 to announce the automatic recount. So if there is going to be one, we're going to know, obviously, by Thursday at 5. He'll announce it, and then all of the counties have to get ready and do it, and that's why I'm scheduling people to have them ready. The larger counties could take 2 to 3 days to do the recount. The smaller counties could easily get them done in a day. So we're not talking about weeks. Like, we're really hoping that this all gets wrapped up. And at any point in this process, Senator Casey could concede the election, and all this would still occur.
Right.
But there wouldn't be the need for all these lawyers and so forth involved in the process. So, but we're still protecting the vote, Dom, like I promised that I would do back in February when Chairman Whatley came to Philadelphia and sat down with me and said, okay, Linda, what do we need in Pennsylvania to protect the vote? So here we are about 9 months later, and I'm still protecting the vote.
Oh, absolutely. Well, another list is on the way here. I got to reconsider all this. Linda, if you can, your assessment of Al Schmidt, I've still been talking with him. You mentioned by Thursday at 5. If you could, grade him throughout this. Did he exercise enough power? Does the Secretary of State have enough power? What we saw in Bucks County, for example.
Our Secretary of State does not have the kind of power that other Secretary of States have. They have more of a guidance role,
right.
And each of our counties are the ones who implement the laws. We need wholesale changes in our election law. I don't agree with a lot of what Secretary Schmidt suggests are the changes that we need. I believe that we need changes to make it fair, more uniform. So I do not agree with Secretary of State Schmidt on a lot of things, but I think we're going to need a whole show for me to talk about that. But Dom, when they perp walk you out of there for not choosing me to be number one on the list, and that's my show, I will talk about that.
Well,
so I'm not worried about that.
Let's ask Henry. Now, Henry, you've been following this sort of from the inside. Is Linda Kearns Trump, Talk Radio 1210 and listeners?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my God.
She said it herself. She was the only person in Pennsylvania that could do the job she did.
Yeah? Well, we're the only radio station to do the job we did.
That's fair. That's fair, but she's one person. We got an army here.
Well, that's why I put it ahead. I said entities, too. So I need to make this individual categories and take us out.
I think it's a strength of schedule type thing. Like we have the masses here. We got Linda out on her own doing her thing.
All right. Now, Linda, you're not suggesting more than Scott Presler, though, are you?
I maintain that unless you have an election integrity, get out the vote operations, you can do all the get out the vote that you want. But unless the voters have faith that their vote will be counted, I don't think we would have been as successful as we could have been. But Dom, it's your list. It's your list for as long as you have that show. So, and we might be counting the days. But I do want to mention on this Veterans Day, I put this on my Twitter. I remember 10-year veteran of the U.S. Army Reserves, Corey Compatore.
Yes.
And I want to remind everybody that in our Pennsylvania election call center, where I had dozens of lawyers fielding calls from the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of poll watchers and poll workers I had out there, I put Corey's picture and a paragraph about him on the front page of the handbook that I drafted for all those lawyers. And we dedicated all of our efforts in Pennsylvania to his memory. He was not with us to vote. I'm sure he would have voted if he was with us. So I wanted to make sure that we protected the vote in his memory. And I remember him today as a veteran.
Absolutely. Well, Linda, where do we find Linda Kearns?
You can look at my Twitter, Linda Kearns Law, at Linda Kearns Law.
And where do I find your mom to have a cup of coffee and read her the riot act?
Oh, no, Dom, yes. I think that's over. I mean, you lost her and all of her friends. And
oh, my God.
No.
Yeah, she's making calls right now. So I think you're going to see a drop in the ratings the next time they come in, and it'll be the Kearns effect, Dom. But hey, that was your choice.
It was, Linda. Thank you. Thanks for all the great work.
Thank you.
All right, Linda Kearns here, as always here. So Henry over Scott Presler, as much as she made a rational case, the emotional case of what we saw here, how could you?
She also made a point there that made me think,
right.
Sports-wise, defense wins championships.
Yes.
And that's exactly what she brought to the table.
Oh, my God. All right. Next time we get Scott Presler on, we have to.
Oh, I need to hear his case, too. I need
his
both.
case. Yeah, well, the listeners are hitting to Twitter right now at Dom Show 1210.
Linda's got, 3 steals, 3 blocks a game, but Scott's out here shooting 30.
Yeah, exactly.
30
That's right.
Game.
Yes, yeah. And putting conditioner in his hair at halftime. 855-839-1210. You can get on board. Coming up, the Inquirer still doesn't get it. They say this is a booming economy and that it was misinformation about it. And they go to a Villanova professor who's the chair of the economics department there. I'll give you his name and what he tells the Inquirer about it. It must be nice at Villanova telling people this might be misinformation rather than what Biden did to them. That's what this is about, and Harris. All right, let's talk Diane Giordano for a moment. If you're in Philadelphia, South Jersey, Jersey, Diane Giordano is back with us. Diane Giordano, team leader of Giordano Realtors. It's that time of the year again. Time for your free Thanksgiving apple or pumpkin pie. I kind of like the pumpkin more. Come on out to the Abington Firehouse on November 26th for Diane's community Thanksgiving pie open house, an annual tradition. You pick up your pie just in time for the holiday. Plus, Diane will be there signing copies of her latest book, Model Home Mindset, where she shares the winning strategies she uses to help home sellers like you get top dollar for their homes. She'll cover everything from expert negotiation to smart marketing and strategic planning, plus some must-know insights on the 2025 market forecast for prices, mortgage rates, and inventory. So make sure to reserve your pie today. That's a big holiday favorite, apple or pumpkin. Enjoy lunch, desserts, and grab a signed copy of the Model Home Mindset. Go to freepie.com. Go to getfreepie.com. Getfreepie.com or call her 215-576-8666.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Roofing or siding issues? Don't wait. Call Emmons Roofing and Siding.
We provide comprehensive roofing and siding services with a focus on quality and customer satisfaction. And our warranties ensure peace of mind for you and your family.
Protect your home with the best warranties available in the industry.
Call Emmons at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Dawn Stensland here. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles feature the latest luxury vehicles from today's top brands. Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. Sleek new designs and innovative features with thousands of new and certified pre-owned vehicles available across Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Visit PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Are you looking for a place to call home? Say hello to hassle-free home loans with American Heritage Credit Union. Our team will guide you through every step, from pre-approval with mortgage rates lower than the national average to closing. And with the MyCU Home Connection program through American Heritage, you can unlock exclusive benefits, including a $500 lender credit, cash rewards, and discount when you buy or sell a home. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/home connection to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Not a member? Join today. NMLS 433838.
Wawa's hot turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets, because hot turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, it is Dom time. You heard Linda Kearns. Coming up, a guy that I was on Newsmax with at 2 o'clock. He was a big-time advisor to Bernie Sanders, now is a Republican, or at least supports and writes for the Daily Caller. I didn't know he was going to be on. They don't tell you all the stuff, right up until the end. I was impressed with him and the sense that he had of this election. He'll be here at 2. But, when I read this stat about how much the dollar has zoomed back, the first guy I thought of with the election of Trump is Robert of Ben Salem. Thought of you first with the dollar.
Hey, how you doing today, Dom? Dan,
Good.
It's good to talk to you guys.
Same here.
With your point with Linda Kern, I kind of agree with Henry here. I think that the 4, Worthington, Linda Kern, Scott Pressler, and I'm sorry, the other guy slips my mind.
Sean Parnell, yeah.
Okay, Parnell. I'm sorry, Mr. Parnell. But I think they should be the top 2. And the reason why I say that is everything else on the list was in place back in 2020, and we didn't do very well. These 4 come in and completely flip the script. And I would have Mr. Parnell, Mr. Worthington, and Ms. Kearns as number 2. Ms. Kearns was invaluable, by the way, okay? Pulling up that number of votes that they were going to get from that prison was on the spot, and it just showed me that she was on her game. But I have to give number 1 overall to Mr. Pressler, an openly gay man who in no way blends in, who went out and registered over 100,000 Amish voters. You can't write that, Dom. That's movie stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it is. There has to be a movie about this guy. They wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, well, I think there should be a movie about this re-election in general just because of the comeback factor. And if he has a good 4 years, you're going to see statues of Trump around the country, Dom. There's no two ways about it.
There is. And, the dollar thing, Robert, I could Google it right now, but something about how ferociously it's come back to what it's supposed to be. And that's a tremendous sign. I see that Qatar is kicked out Hamas now, and I think they want to be with Trump on this. We're seeing it already.
Within 2 years, inflation will be dealt with, the dollar will be king again, and we're going to be looking good for the 2020 elections or 2026 elections as far as expanding the House, because we're going to need more seats in the House. But at any rate, I don't want to take too much time. My answer to the side question is just a general Thanksgiving dinner. It's the one time of the year that I absolutely load up, and I probably get about 4,000 or 5,000 calories, and I'm comatose for a while.
Yeah, that is a great one. Thank you, Robert.
You guys have a great day.
That's going to be hard to beat. That is Minnie, with this question today, calories that are worth it. Something that the calories are worth it. Thanksgiving dinner, yes.
Do you put everything on your plate? I try to get everything on
Yeah, I eat turkey. Dan's not here, so I can, you eat turkey. You're not a vegetarian, the whole thing. Yeah, I try to go a little easy on the stuffing because I know what the result's going to be. I don't want to be comatose there.
I think that's the point. I think you're supposed to be watching like that 4:30 football game just going,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but not passing out if possible.
Oh, dozing off. You wake up and you're like, big play? Huh?
All right, coming up, we're going to talk with Will Pierce. As I said, I was on Newsmax with him over the weekend. Former top advisor to Bernie Sanders, who surfaced telling the Democrat Party what they didn't do with so-called working-class Americans. I think he thinks differently. He now has shifted over to writing for the Daily Caller, I guess a Republican. I didn't ask him that. And then our buddy, Colonel Scott Rutter, the pride of Northeast Philadelphia, is back with us with a special taking us through Veterans Day. Alan West is unavailable today. He'll be here tomorrow at 1:30, though. But Scott is native-born, and I can remember he's the guy that led the attack that captured Baghdad Airport. Just a little bit, too, of local knowledge. This from Axios Philadelphia. When Philadelphia's veterans serve. Philadelphia, I don't think it's the metro area. 2023 estimates. September 2001 or later, 22.3 of Philadelphia area veterans. Gulf War, 18.9. Vietnam era, 35.3. Korean War, 4.8. And, of course, World War II, the greatest generation, 0.8. All right, all that unfolding. Dom's Money Melody, too, for a great prize here. A pair of tickets to see Joe Conklin. And I'll be there that night with Jim Kelly, hopefully, too, down in South Philly. I'll give you all the details. A bonus of top-up. We will reprise our great Senator Corleone. He does that part, as we did on Friday. All that, big 2 o'clock hour next on Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, it's Rich Ziola. You know the Grand Hotel in Cape May, New Jersey is my happy place. We do our live broadcast there, and we all get to hang out together, and we'll be back December 20th. We have a great time drinking at the bar, great food at Hemingway's restaurants, and the awesome heated swimming pools. I don't call the Grand Hotel my happy place for nothing. Well, now, backed by popular demand, I'm thrilled to share that my promo code is back. That's right. Fans of the show can use promo code ZIOLI and save 25% off when booking a midweek stay from now until the end of the year, December 31st. You don't even have to be a fan of the show. Just use my name, Zioli. There's no minimum stay required. Just simply put Zioli in the promo code and save 25%. If you haven't been to the Grand Hotel yet, I highly recommend you book your stay today and enjoy this full-service resort. Remember to always book direct with them to get the best rates. Call 800-257-8550. It's 800-257-8550 or grandhotelcapemay.com. You can't combine this with any other offer. Promo code ZIOLI.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
What's on the menu for football season? Pork, of course. Get ready for game day with Hatfield and put some pork on your fork. Elevate your kickoff cuisine and halftime feast with Hatfield's winning lineup of marinated pork tenderloins, pork loin fillets, ground pork and sausage, bacon and ham. Whether you're the tailgate king or gridiron gourmet, Hatfield helps you savor the taste of victory. Visit simplyhatfield.com for play-by-play menu inspiration. Find your flavor with Hatfield.
Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. 610-894-7415 or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi-8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. Will Pierce was on with me. I've seen him many times on cable in the last year or two. He's a former advisor to Bernie Sanders, director for Draft Biden. I didn't know that part. And a guest often on Newsmax, Fox, columnist now for the Daily Caller. Let's go to Will Pierce here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Will, welcome in. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me on, Dom.
Well, I didn't know. I don't know if they tell you who pops up in these things with Newsmax. I didn't know anybody else was even going to be on. It's all last minute. But, Will, your journey from advisor to Bernie Sanders, et cetera, to columnist for Daily Caller, how did that happen?
Well, I think the Democratic Party over the years just has changed from, to be honest, a middle-class party like it was back in I hate to say the good old days, but then and now it's a party of the liberal coastal elites. Perfect example, if you look at Michigan overall. In 2016, it was a big blue state. Hillary Clinton was favored to win in the primary. Bernie Sanders won that. Then you had Donald Trump, who won in that general election. And then nonstop during that period, you had insiders in the Democratic Party in Michigan screaming to the DNC and to the people in D.C. that control the Democratic Party, hey, wait, this message is not working here. But instead of changing their positions, changing who they are as a party and kind of getting with the times, they just stayed with the good, with the old message of, like, oh, this is what we're going to do and that's what we're going to do. It didn't work. It didn't work then, and it's not working now. And that's why you just see countless Democrats leaving the Democratic Party. The same old story, the same old message is not going to work. People are not focused on social issues. People are not focused on, like abortion or foreign wars. They're focused on their pocketbooks and their wallets right now. And that's why I know that's why Donald Trump won this election last week.
Well, do you think it's a breakthrough for the Republican Party or Trump? Because we've seen his presidency. We see the comparison. That made a big difference here. It's the first time we're not back there with Grover Cleveland. I mean, it's not hard to see what he did and what he'll do again.
Absolutely. And I think the old saying of, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago is a perfect example overall. And that's why Donald Trump just won groups and coalitions that, to be honest, a Republican have never run before. If you look at the numbers for the black vote and also for the Hispanic community. But one thing also, like, when else are you going to have a candidate that can bring Jews and Arab Americans like he did in Michigan together? Where else are you going to, I'm not making it up, but progressive lesbians out in Washington State were supporting Donald Trump. And all of this should have been a message to the Democrats. I'm sorry, when you have $1 billion and you run a campaign like they did, I really think, I'm sorry, my dog or my 10-year-old son could you do a better job than what they did out there.
Now, Bernie Sanders has been critical, but his message to working class, he likes what Biden did as far as the spending at the beginning of his term.
Yeah, and this is the thing I often asked, how do you go from Bernie Sanders to being a Trump Republican? I don't think there's that much of a difference. After Bernie Sanders ran in 2016, a lot of his support actually went over to Donald Trump. That's something that a lot of people don't know about. They kind of have the same populist message of, hey, we have to take care of the people who build this country first off before we take care of everyone else. And then the thing is, I like to say that Donald Trump is more Democratic than the Democratic Party itself. Look at what they did, with Bernie Sanders in 2016. But also look what they did this past election, where they pretty much, treated the election like a coronation of a king or a queen. They kicked out the nominee. They told everyone in the primary, no, you cannot run. Joe Biden's going to be the candidate. Then behind the scenes, they pulled a little last minute ploy of putting Kamala Harris in there, and then they expect people to be supporting for them. I'm sorry, it's just unacceptable.
Will, how about African-American voters? President Obama, usually more masterful, the scold that went on. Mrs. Obama did it too. Trump moved the needle with African-American men a bit, but much more so with Latino men.
Yeah, but I think the vote total that he got with black men overall is kind of just a step in the right direction overall for the Republican Party. Like typically the Democratic Party, they get upwards of 90 to 95% of the black vote. The fact that all election, I was pretty much saying it was going to be around 30% of the black vote was going to go for Donald Trump, and there were networks and other people that are saying you're crazy, you're crazy. I'm sorry, I was wrong. It was around 20%, but still, 2 to 3% off. And I think it's very telling now that the Democratic Party, instead of opening their eyes and being like, hey, well, wait a minute, let's take a look at this, let's analyze it. What are the commentators, the Democratic commentators doing on MSDNC? Instead, they're sitting there saying, oh, no, all black men are misogynists. Oh, no, all Hispanic people are racist. And it's like, no, wait a minute. You're sitting here saying that kind of messaging right now. And then in 2 to 4 years in the midterms and presidential elections, you're going to ask for the black and for the Hispanic vote again. And we could just play the tapes back. They have been saying the same message. They have been doing nothing for these communities for years. But at the same time, they want to bring in countless illegals and provide them with social services, provide them with support when we have communities who are American citizens who cannot get by. It's unacceptable.
And we saw that in New York, and then whatever goes on in New York, people see nationally. And I think Governor Abbott did the right thing. He spread the pain people were feeling in Texas. New York was a principal spot where we see it. And to your point, people see, I don't know, Tom Homan today saying $500 a night hotel rooms. I know New York's pricey. My God, I hope it's not that. But they were at least $300 or $400 in that range every night for thousands and thousands of people, where the average American was told to have to sacrifice because of inflation.
It's unacceptable. Like during the election, me and my family, we were actually in New York just to do some media coverage and just to help out the campaign. And it's actually fun. We didn't even know it until we walked down the street. We stayed down the street from the Roosevelt, the hotel where they're staying. And I'm sorry, like as soon as you go to 1 block, 2 blocks closer to that hotel, you feel like you're in a third world country. And this is the thing. You see the same thing that's going on in that community over there. You see it going on in San Francisco. You see it going on in Chicago. You see it throughout countless Democratic cities that have been Democratic strongholds for a while. And you cannot just sit here and say, oh, no, like it's going to get better. It's going to get better. I'm sorry. Let's look at New York, Chicago, San Francisco. Let's see how they've been going downhill for decades. And I'm sorry, you just want to push that narrative of, oh, the Democratic Party is better off. If they can't run their campaign and they're, $20 million in debt right now, if they can't run the cities that they're in charge of, why are we going to give them our country?
Exactly. So, Will, where's the best place to find you on Twitter and your column? How often does it appear for the Daily Caller?
Yeah, so right now I'm writing for both the Daily Caller and for the Blaze. So I'm writing more for the Blaze, but you can find me on there, and then also you can find me on Twitter at Real Will Pierce as well.
Well, Will, it was a find. I invite you back again whenever you see something here. You know my guys, just let us know. We'd love to talk with you. It was a pleasure to be on with you.
Same here. You have a good day, sir.
Thank you very much. Will Pierce here on Talk Radio 1210, and we'll keep him in our circle and bring him back here with us. Imagine going from Bernie Sanders populism to Donald Trump populism. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210, AT&T, and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210, and you'll get on board. Again, side question today. Something, thanks to Minnie, we're always open to people submitting a side question, something that is worth the calories. All right, something that's not worth just about anything, but this shows you the attempted attitude on the other side. The Inquirer runs this today. Here's the headline: how GOP messaging broke through a booming economy, to reach Trump voters. And they interview people like a guy who was formerly a steam fitter. They interview another woman who had to give up her gym membership because of inflation. And then they come to this Villanova, the head of the economics department, Erasmus Kurtzling, a Villanova University economics professor and department chair. And he says, well, was this genuine economic grievance, or was it a very successful misinformation campaign? In other words, this article tries to run you through the idea that the GOP successfully convinced people that inflation, their economic standing, and they linked it to immigrants or something else. In other words, all these social problems are somehow or another causing you to be in that situation rather than we know what caused it. Now, this guy's an economics head. Does he really not know what caused this situation? And again, they cite every other macroeconomic development. Look at this and look at that. And then people say, like Joe Scarborough the other day. By the way, thanks to a lot of people over the weekend, Henry found that one. I don't know if we still have it here in the sheet, where Scarborough talked about butter being expensive. Is that what people are going to vote on? He thought it was $3 and it was $7. And this is reverberated. So can you imagine still trying to sell the idea to people that they got you to vote because of hatred? They got all these other elements in there. And that kind of connected it to the economic situation that you're in, your lot in life, when really it's not connected. So do they not believe the average American is hurting and it's due to Joe Biden and Harris and what they did to create this environment with inflation? That's the issue. It's not all these other factors they keep on talking about. Why don't you want to look at them? Because people are living their lives, spending their money, making decisions in this vice of inflation that's baked in. We had Dave McCormick on, and he talked about some of the things that would get rid of this, to debake it, if you will, not just the rate, but the actual inflation, energy. And then he talked about excessive spending and cutting down on that. That's the way that you start to roll this back. They don't want to do that. They don't want to admit to what they did, but that's exactly what this was about. And Trump and the Trump persona was able to break through with a lot of people. I mean, it was there all the time, but he's the one that was able to break through with this. All right, 855-839-1210, a booming economy. What's the definition of that? Is it the unemployment rate, or is a booming economy what people can actually buy and afford? Isn't that the definition of it? Isn't that always what it comes around to? Why do you want to escape that? Because you caused it. And this is what people were revolting against. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Absolutely we're not. And we had, as I just said with Will, a president to compare what he did versus what they did, back to back. You don't get that ever, almost. All right, hit us on the side question. Love to get your response to this. Where's this booming economy? In other words, this whole approach is to say that they switch things here, they put things together, misinformation. Must be nice to be out there in Villanova talking about possible misinformation. What's the misinformation here? Did Biden cause inflation? Of course he did. And what did that do to the average middle class, particularly American or lower middle class? It really made things tough, really made them have to make decisions that they should be able to afford, but they can't. I don't know if you get that at Villanova or not. Maybe not. Maybe you're more insulated from that. Where's the misinformation here? Well, they got them all roused up because of blaming immigration and all that. No, they made the case of what Biden did also. We know that. All right, we're coming to your calls, though. You can get in at 855-839-1210. But right now, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Where's all the money gone?
All right, great prize today. You'll win a pair of tickets to see Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra's The Story of Philadelphia Sports Through Music. That's on Saturday, November 23rd at Newman Goretti High School in South Philly. For tickets, visit joeconklin.com. I'll be there introducing Joe. I think it's a 7 p.m. start. It's going to be a great night in South Philly. Henry, what's the backstory?
Yeah, so in honor of our side question today of what is worth the calories, I'm going to play a song that's about food. And I want the artist that sings the song. Simple enough?
Yep.
You may remember this song from the early 2000s if you're old enough. We'll see if people do. All right, here we go. I'm going to cut it off right there.
Yeah, a lot of food
no
there,
chorus.
a lot
No
of
chorus
transit,
for
no
anybody.
chorus. All right. Hit us with that at 855-839-1210. And you're off. Joe Conklin puts on a heck of a show. Special to me, this will be in South Philly. 855-839-1210. Jump in. Get that prize right out of the box to kick off Monday.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, the voice of the people.
First thing I want to say is a shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
You guys make my morning every morning. I voted Trump, my whole family. I obligate my whole family to vote Trump. I am so excited. Like, tears are coming out of my eyes. Like, it's a real thing. I love America. I love this country.
From South Jersey to Delco, from Bucks to Montco, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware. We are the voice of the people. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
This school year, get your child or grandchild the help they need to succeed. Special tutoring and custom instruction is available from METC, the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. Now's the time to call Kathy Ganna and help your child have an outstanding year. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200. That's 215-493-4200.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Newman Goretti High School in South Philly, Saturday, November 23rd. It's the story of Philly sports through music.
I loved it. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure I'd like it, but I'll tell you, I'm glad I came. Best ever.
He reinvented himself. It was really good, man.
The music, the singing, you laugh, you tear it up.
That's Conklin and City Rhythm at Newman Goretti High School in South Philly, November 23rd. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Got a shopping list a mile long but need to charge your EV? No problem. Now you can fill up your cart and your battery at the same time. With a convenient network of Shell recharge stations at some of your favorite shopping spots, you can get everything done in one trip. Shop for groceries, clothes, and more while your EV charges up. And never miss a beat. Shell Recharge. Download the Shell app today to find the nearest Shell Recharge location. For more information on locations and how Shell measures reliability, visit shell.us/Shell Recharge.
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks. This is not a drill. It's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
Well, that is exactly right. So food, what's worth the calories? I see some great ones on Twitter. You can still hit us with that at 855-839-1210. Just tell us, Henry, we're looking for...
the name of the group that sings the song.
Name of the group that sings the song today. Here's a little bit of it. All right, I think we got the flavor. Let's go to Bill in Center City. Bill, what's the name of the group singing the song?
I don't know the original or what they call themselves, but is it Hippie? La Ketchup?
All right, no, that's not it. Earl of Tacony. Earl, who's singing?
Would that be Las Ketchup?
It is. All right, Earl, you are headed off. Oh, we'll have to get you into the act if you're down there in South Philly. Yes.
Yes, and they got their name from the fact that their father was a famous flamenco musician by the name of the Tomato. So since they're the daughters of the Tomato, they called themselves Las Ketchup.
Very nice.
But the song is actually based. The story of the song is the girls are at a nightclub and they're listening to someone that is singing to the music, but he's singing the music wrong. The song is actually Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang. You know, hip hop, a hippity hop, and he's singing the words to the song wrong, and that's what they're making fun of in the song.
Very nice, Earl. I'll put you on hold, and we'll get you set up for Joe Conklin in South Philly with me, November 23rd, Newman Goretti High School. It's a fundraiser, too, for a couple parishes there. For tickets, visit joeconklin.com. All right, we'll talk with Colonel Scott Rutter to round out Veterans Day here. But 855-839-1210, you get in. This is sent to me by a number of police cops over the weekend. This is what still goes on in Philadelphia. There was a debate before this committee about historic preservation, which when you do that, it adds significance to things. You don't want to preserve everything and say it's historic. And it was about the Roundhouse. I bet everybody listening has gone by the Roundhouse. Used to be police headquarters. It's famous because of the construction. Right down there on, is it on Vine or Cow Hill? And it was up for historic preservation. Well, this guy that heads the Historical Commission and others apparently at the hearing, and I'm looking at the Inquirer here, they said it's not worthy of it because of the racism. Like a building has racism, holding cells that make your stomachs turn, said the head guy, Frankel. There are many, many Philadelphians who consider this to be a monument to brutality. He also argued it would be the wrong move because of other development there. Can you imagine now a building is racist? That's exactly what this is. This building is racist. We can't preserve that. Once again, we're going back to this nonsense. Is it historic or not? Does it meet the qualities of they preserve this, they do this? You know what this is like? It's like the Rizzo statue, things of that nature, which, by the way, I'm on that committee. I'll let you know when the next meeting is. I know because of the election and everything, it's kind of on hold, but it'll be happening. And we'll see where the Rizzo statue ultimately gets placed. And I'd love to have a huge event around that. You know, it's got to be in a safe spot, the whole nonsense with the maniacs that are out there. Maybe next to Columbus. I don't know, a twofer. Easier to protect everything there. That's gone well with the Columbus statue. So can you imagine the Roundhouse? And look, they said other things. But in fairness, the bottom line seems to me here, this guy and some of these on this historic commission, they didn't want to do it because people say that would be a monument to racism and brutality. All right. And I could see a pivot toward what the big story I thought coming into today, Veterans Day, was Tom Homan named as border czar. Now, you may remember, he'll be back on the show, he was the head of ICE. And he talked about, on several shows now, what he plans to do, what this will be about. I like Cut 24. We haven't played this one yet, Henry. Here is Homan with his message to sanctuary cities and what's going to happen now going forward as far as they're going to come into sanctuary cities, so-called, and they're going to take out the criminals, national security threats that are here illegally. Here's Homan's rant towards sanctuary cities. Cut 24.
About me, especially on the left. Now, again, I when you have a historic crisis, a crisis this big, here's what they need to know. When you have a crisis this big that overwhelms the Border Patrol, where the majority of Border Patrol are no longer on patrol, they're making sandwiches, they're changing diapers, they're making baby formula, they're making hospital runs, they're making airport runs. When you take most of the Border Patrol agents off the border to deal with humanitarian crisis, that's when the fentanyl comes across to kill 250,000 Americans. That's when the sex trafficking has increased 600%. That's when no suspected terrorists has crossed this country. They've had a record of people on terrorist watch list that been arrested at the southern border. That's why you have over 2 million gotaways. How many of them came to our country sponsoring terror? So I don't care what anybody's opinion is on illegal immigration. When you create a crisis this big, all these other bad things happen. That's why you have to secure the border. I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or independent. Border security is national security. We should all be on the same side of that. I've been saying this for the last couple of years. And the director of the FBI actually agrees with me. I don't respect him greatly, but he agrees with me. The southwest border is the biggest national security vulnerability this nation's ever seen. He sees more red flags now than ever before. We have to secure the border. And as far as the people want to push back on deporting these people, what is the option? You have a right to claim asylum. You have a right to see a judge, and we make that happen. But at the end of that due process, if the judge says you must go home, then we have to take them home. Because if we're not, what the hell are we doing? If the judge's order doesn't mean anything, then shut down the immigration court, take the border patrol off the border, so there's no consequences violating the laws of this country. We'll give you a fair shake. You get a chance to claim asylum, but due process doesn't mean squat if the final decision of the court isn't carried out. What is the option? Let them all stay? Because if that's the option you want, you're never going to fix the southern border, because you send a message to the whole world. Come to the United States, enter the country legally, which is a crime. Don't show up in court, or show up in court, get an order removal, but you still get to stay. That doesn't work.
Right. Tom, I guess you got to build a wall. And you got to stop sanctuary cities. Both times the Democrats stopped every time he went forward, they gum you up in court. You don't have to give it away, but is there a plan if sanctuary cities, these city councils don't allow the sanctuary cities to go away? Is there a plan B you have?
Well, I think, look, it'd be great to have local law enforcement assist ICE, because, one thing we learned during 9/11 report was we shouldn't have stovepipes. Law enforcement should work with law enforcement. But, there's two things. Number one, under President Trump, he was suing the sanctuary cities. DOJ suing the sanctuary cities, pulling federal funds. Of course, day one, when Joe Biden came in office, he stopped that lawsuit. So that has to be put back in place. And look, I've seen some of these Democratic governors say they're going to stand in the way. They're going to make it hard for us. Well, a suggestion. If you're not going to help us, get the hell out of the way, but we're going to do it. So if we can't get assistance from New York City, and we may have to double the number of agents we send to New York City.
All right, we got the message here. Now, a couple things I predict are going to happen here. One, there's not going to be mass deportations or whatever, and I don't think the average person listening now wants that or thinks that early on. It's not going to be that way. It's going to be going after criminals they've targeted, national security threats, etc. But this sanctuary city thing has to be done early on, gone after them, pick out one, and make an example out of them. I don't care which one you pick out. That's the way to go. And in addition to that, once we do that, there's going to be a dragging it out. There'll be several federal judges, etc. I don't know what Trump's going to try to do by executive order around sanctuary cities. But I think early on, they're going to target and take in and remove from the country the very people Homan was talking about there. And then we'll be off to the races. And I mentioned this earlier today. The Inquirer had a big piece about these churches in the Philadelphia area that will offer sanctuary, resistance, etc. What is the Catholic Church, the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, going to say about all this? I wish they would say something like, we have to follow the law here. And if you're here illegally, particularly where this is going to be with criminals / national security threats, the position of the Catholic Church is we follow the law. All right, but Homan is exactly the right guy on this. It's not going to be the military. It's going to be targeted with ICE agents who are surgical, know what they're doing, and yet there will be a firestorm sometime before the end of January. This will start to take place. And you heard what Kilmeade asked there about, well, what are you going to do if they won't comply, they won't help? He said, we're going to go in anyhow. Are they going to try to block them? I don't think so. All right, here are the phone lines. 855-839-1210. We need to get an answer here, something that's worth the calories. My good friend, Colonel Scott Rutter, the man who led the attack that captured Baghdad Airport way back when, the pride of Northeast Philadelphia, and real good friend of Alan West. He's with us next. Every Veterans Day, we try to talk to Scott. He works with a lot of veterans groups. What do they need? What is the thing that's in the forefront of the minds around that? But we'll get a lot more of your calls in and get a winner today to put your name into the hat. 855-839-1210.
My name's Jim Colombo, 3 years in the Marine Corps, Vietnam vet, 67, 68, and I've been with Crash Proof Retirement since 2017. Every day should be Veterans Day. Every time you walk down the street, you're free, and you're free because of a veteran. Crash Proof Retirement, I would recommend it to all veterans. As a matter of fact, I recommended it to a lot of my friends already. I'm not worried about inflation now because I earn interest, and once I earn the interest, it's mine to keep. I don't pay a dime to anybody for anything. All I'm doing is watching my money grow and grow. I feel very secure and safe with Crash Proof Retirement.
This Veterans Day, Crash Proof Retirement salutes our nation's brave armed forces, those who served, and those who continue to serve. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Springfield Country Club, November 20th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
You're a winner this winter when you play Borgata's Winning Wonderland. From now through December 28th, earn entries in slot and table games for your stake in over $1 million in prizes, including 2 2025 Land Rover Range Rovers, each valued at over $150,000. Drawings take place every Saturday with grand prize drawings on November 30th and December 28th. For details, visit theborgata.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here to tell you why Family and Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey is South Jersey's diamond destination and your trusted jeweler for quality, service, and price. You can choose from the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, or you can have their master jewelers create a custom one-of-a-kind ring just for your special day. Visit their showroom or shop online at familyjewelers.com. That's familyjewelers.com. Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about your thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow. Weather sponsored by Robert Half.
Overnight low, 44, clear conditions. Tomorrow, 59 and sunny. Sunday, 62. It'll be relatively cloudy, and on Monday, 70 for the high. By Tuesday and for the rest of the week, temperatures are much more seasonable in the upper 50s.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Our recruiting professionals utilize an award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, it is Dom time. Happy Veterans Day, and thanks to all veterans. And we'll talk with Colonel Scott Rutter about that coming up. You heard my big list today. We had a lot of fun with that. If you have a big list suggestion, always willing to do it. Look, and don't be sore about it if you think, Well, I didn't like where you put that one in. You can put your own list up on my Twitter. Tell me at Dom Show 1210. Linda Kern's good sport on this. I know thinks number one over Scott Presler. Both did, somebody put up on Twitter, I don't know in Arizona, but if they had Linda Kearns there and Scott Presler, Carrie Lake would have won. Well, that's saying something because I don't think Carrie Lake is a good candidate. And we have to have better candidates for the Senate. That was a winnable seat. But, yeah, I think if Presler and Linda Kearns were there, would have been a much better outcome. Scott Rutter is a leader from the Gulf War, led the attack to capture Baghdad Airport. Then he became a Fox News correspondent, once calling me from one of the bathrooms of Saddam Hussein in one of the palaces live. I remember that. And he's very involved with veterans groups, trying to help families of veterans. And always we like to hear from him, particularly on Veterans Day. Hey, Scott, how are things? Happy Veterans Day. Thanks for joining us.
Happy Veterans Day to you, Dom, and your audience. Always appreciate your help. It's been an amazing journey from Sterling Optical to now, so thanks for letting me speak, sir.
Yeah, I remember that. Everybody sucking in their guts. Rutter was there in full uniform. I remember at Sterling Optical, we were doing a remote when he came by on a Saturday, and then we went to Gitmo together, and he was instrumental in getting us on the air out of Guantanamo Bay. Scott, this Veterans Day, how are things looking for veterans overall? You're in touch. What's the biggest need? Are things improving?
Absolutely, Dom. The morale that we have right now and the efforts of the audience and individuals, we got to continue that. Veterans need jobs. Jobs. There's no excuse for them not to have jobs. Think about it. If we gave every small business $40,000 for hiring a veteran, you could do the math. You're even going to save money with that. We have to keep them busy. Out of the 900 soldiers that I had the honor to command, that's the number one attack that they want to make sure that gets out to people, that when we welcome these soldiers back, the sailors, Marines, 4 or 5 rotations downrange and vice versa, there's no excuse for them not getting jobs.
Yeah, people that wake up every day with a mission and all day long, that's exactly the people that you want to work with you, their perspective, et cetera. So, Scott, you're involved with several groups, but I think you have one principal one we always talk about.
Yes, Dom, the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. This concentrates on the children and the family members and all those that are grieving a loss of a service member. We're there once the family receives the word. We help them transition, and we focus them in order to get on to the next step of their life ever so gingerly. And we've been very adamant concerning laws. Years ago, if you moved to a state and you didn't live there for 2 years, you had to pay out-of-state tuition. Oh, by the way, your father was killed at a particular installation or in Iraq. By the way, you got 60 days to get off post, and you're not graduating the high school that you attend on post. So we've been very instrumental in getting out there and focusing on those needs and helping people get back into their efforts.
Scott, how about the issue, and I don't want to be political with you, but we see this constantly, and I think you correctly put it in place a few times we've had you. Hopefully, we're going to see the military become less woke and more about merit, which when you think of the military, that's the first thing you think of, the best and the brightest people volunteering, merit.
Absolutely, Dom. And I think that has existed in its entirety. And I think, the soldiers, the great non-commissioned officers that I had the opportunity in order to fight with and so forth, they knew that this was going to change. And they are basically concentrating on blocking and tackling and doing what they were trained to do. And now there's going to be a whole group of leaders coming in that are going to be supporting them and getting out there and doing what they do best.
And I meant that, Scott, at your rank and up, and Colonel West says this all the time, colonels, generals, et cetera, if they feel that you advance, not because of your politics, but because you're the best at what you do, inspiring leadership, the stuff you told me about being in a motor pool, seeing what's going on in your unit, particularly when you're in the desert with sandstorms and all, those are the people we want to advance. That's what it's supposed to be about.
Absolutely. And all of us came into the service in order to protect our country, in order to learn a skill and move ahead and make things better for the United States. And that's what today is recognizing. It's those veterans. We have Memorial Day for individuals that we have lost, but this is a special day, and I know it transitioned from Armistice Day and so forth, but this is something that we want to make sure that those veterans out there, that we recognize them. At the same point, our mission is not over. Jobs, jobs, jobs. Got to make sure we got the right health care out there for them and different support within various communities.
So, Scott, I hope you're going to be coming home from the holidays. Haven't seen you in quite a bit. What is the group? Give us the website, or where do we go for the group that you mentioned?
Sure. It's called the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, TAPS, like the bugle, TAPS.org. You can check it out. I serve as the treasurer. I don't take a salary. You know, we got a great group of individuals. We bring children in from all over the country and all over the world if they're deployed or if they're away or something every year in Washington, D.C. What a novel event to see about 3,000 children come together and actually share their experiences of losing a father, losing a mother, or mother and father losing a child.
Absolutely, Scott. Keep up the great work. Hope to see you soon.
Absolutely, Dom. Take care. And again, thanks for all your support throughout the years.
Colonel Scott Rutter here, the guy who was our liaison getting us into Gitmo. That's got to be top 10. Oh, yeah. We broadcast from Gitmo, the first only radio broadcast that I know of in 2001, I want to say.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually got to see people that were the killers there, about as far away as I am from you in your producer studio there, playing soccer and sitting on picnic benches and looked like I could kill you if I wanted to right now.
Hopefully they were through thicker glass than
No,
this.
it wasn't glass. It was open. There were a lot of guards there. They would have been shot, I hope, but who knows? You know, we got to walk through the prisons and all their spitting, yelling stuff, et cetera. Let's go to Bill in Bucks on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bill, good afternoon.
Good afternoon there, Dom and Henry. I just wanted to relate my experience on election night as a poll worker in Bucks County.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention that we were running these little vote pads, which are digital things, and I was checking people in and giving them a official ballot. And every once in a while, maybe 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 8, I typed in their name and it said, check ID. And what that meant was, when we were told, is they're a first-time voter. So this went on and on and on all night. So there were a lot of first-time voters come to that precinct. So I believe it's the work of Presler. Scott Presler brought that in. Because you remember back in July, I said, yep, he flipped Bucks County red on registrations. And election night, it showed.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine, as great as these others were, right there in Bucks County, Presler, Worthington, Linda Kearns, that's part of the Mount Rushmore, Scott. This guy
That's a three-legged stool.
Yeah, these guys were magical. He was magical. So give us your thing.
Exactly.
You got a great one, I think. Something worth the calories.
Oh, yeah. They have a location, and only one as far as I know, and it's on Mercer Street at East Lehigh Avenue. I'm talking about Stock's Bakery.
Yes, legendary. Why don't they do more? People love that pound cake. Thank you, Bill. With the holidays coming up, it's legendary, Stock's. I've seen it occasionally at Captain Chucky's. I don't know which locations or where. I think the one I go to. Legendary. It doesn't look like it's that calorie-laden, but yeah, it might be.
Pound cake?
Pound cake.
It's right in the name. It'll add those pounds.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you, I don't know why people wait to the holidays. It's in a difficult neighborhood, but they do distribute. I don't know why they haven't gone to other branches. Legendary in Philadelphia. That is a very good one. All right, that's what we're looking for. Something that is worth the calories. Thanks to Minnie for suggesting that. Hey, let's talk about Dr. Bentz. He's my friend, dentist, board-certified prosthodontist, the Bentz Dental Group in East Norriton. And over the years, I've told you any number of things that I've seen with Dr. Bentz, my own treatment, the things that he's gotten me, persuaded me. I was reluctant, the electric toothbrush, the water pick now twice a day. He's a very persuasive guy, but he meets the patient where they are. He'll work with you on what you're going to do, what he's seeing, that initial evaluation, and come up with a plan. And each time you go for treatment, he'll tell you what the plan is going forward, how it fits into the big picture. Now, all this great care is backed up by a great staff, but unbelievable technology. We've kidded about, Dan and I, the 3D printer, the consistency, the precision. His guy, John, though, is the artisan that oversees that part. So you got the best of world-class technology and world-class people working there. So is it any wonder other dentists send, for complex cases, routinely, people to Dr. Bentz? Any wonder that people that are nervous, a little bit of anxiety about the dentist, they fit in beautifully here. It's all there. If you're looking for a great dentist, maybe you think you're having a problem, you're a little bit dissatisfied, you haven't been to a dentist in a while, get a look-see with Dr. Bentz. Make that initial appointment right now. And again, you'll see the treatment that I get every day. Tell them Dom sent you, Dr. Bentz, BentzDentalGroup.com, or 610-272-6949. 610-272-6949. The Bentz Dental Group. Say it with a smile.
Hey, it's Rich Ziola. You know how important privacy is to me. I've been telling you for years, right? I don't want the government tracking me. I don't want companies tracking me. That's why I subscribe to Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo. Privacy Pro is a 3-in-1 subscription service. It includes DuckDuckGo VPN. Gotta have it, especially when you're on the road. Personal information removal. I don't want any of my personal information on the internet. And identity theft restoration. 3 features for the price of 1. And it's from DuckDuckGo. Subscribers get a service that will help you restore your identity if it is stolen. This is unbelievable and so essential in this day and age. Now, here's what you do. You go to duckduckgo.com/1210. You get a week on us. DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Exclusive 7-day free trial. Then pay only $9.99 a month. This is privacy that you need. Privacy Pro. And listen, personal information removal. This way nobody knows anything about you. This is what you need in this day and age. Trust me. Privacy Pro. DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Sign up now.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
Is your kitchen or bathroom in need of a makeover?
It's time to transform your home into a personal oasis with Emmons Remodeling.
Our expert team specializes in kitchen and bathroom renovations, creating beautiful, functional spaces you and your family will love. We handle everything from design to installation.
So call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Medicare is making important changes in 2025. Independence Blue Cross can help. Our Medicare Advantage plans include premiums as low as $0, dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage. The deadline to enroll is December 7th. Visit ibxmedicare.com/radio. Independence Blue Cross offers PPO, HMO, POS, and HMO Medicare Advantage plans with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Independence Blue Cross PPO, HMO, POS, and HMO Medicare Advantage plans depends on contract renewal.
Wawa's hot turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets because hot turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important.
Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by calling 844-300-LEAF to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water, and it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty, so you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Call Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate and to save up to 30%. Dial 844-300-LEAF. That's 844-300-LEAF.
Hey, Paoli. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
That is right, and Dom's Lightning Round, sponsored by Cherry Hill Volvo. Right now, lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. See store for details. They always go the extra mile for their customers because relationships matter at Cherry Hill Volvo. Just check the group that we use for political odds making. They have it at about 59% that Senator Rick Scott will be the majority leader. We heard from Dave McCormick about that today, and immediately people on Twitter, he's going to vote for Cornyn. I didn't hear that at all. So we will see. I think it's going to be Rick Scott, and I think that's the right choice. All right, today's side question. Hit us with something that is certainly worth the calories. Had some great ones. Let's go to Earl in Tacony. All right, Earl, what's yours today?
Let's see if I can do a two for today. If you want to hold off on the economy for now, I'll just go right to my point. I know pineapple doesn't belong on a pizza, but nothing like pineapple on a cheesecake, or even a cherry cheesecake, or I found a place this week that sells raspberry cheesecake.
Yeah, I like the cherry cheesecake.
I'm a sucker for raspberry cheesecake.
Oh, that might be a little out of bounds. I got to think about the raspberries
it's
a little
so
bit
good.
off. All right, the cherry. It's American as cherry pie. Richard in Summerdale. Richard, what do you have today?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I just wanted to ask first, can we get Scott Pressler over here in New Jersey to sign people up for the gubernatorial election next year?
You know what? Next
Jack
time we have
Citarelli?
him on, I'm going to try to convince him that that is a point of emphasis, that we think it's winnable, and that would be the guy. Yes, give him whatever
Yep.
he needs and turn him loose in Jersey.
Well, twist his arm. Get him
All
over
right,
here.
you know what?
Yeah,
I'm putting him
I'm
on
the
the docket.
Republican.
I'm putting him on the
I'm the
docket for tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I'm the Republican committeeman for Summerdale over here for the county, so we'd like to see him over here.
Gotcha.
I just got off for a ceremony for Veterans Day on the Battleship New Jersey, and they had the original 98-year-old Rosie the Riveter on there to meet, and it was a really good ceremony we had. Yeah.
You know what,
Anyway,
Henry?
my,
Write that down for after the show. Richard Holland, write that down after the show. Side question tomorrow on Rosie the Riveter. You and I will come up with an angle. I think that's a good one. It'll be in the news.
Okay, and my guess for today is tiramisu, which I used to make quite often, and a very good dish.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
All right. I think of that Horn and Hornets rice pudding just to get Dan crazy with the automat. He can't stand it. He literally.
Rice pudding from the automat?
Oh, he hates the automat.
That's a little too much.
All right, Gary in Newtown. Gary, what's yours today? Gary?
Hey, Tom, can I share something that happened to you at my hello?
Yes. Go ahead, Gary.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I share something that happened to me at my Barnes & Noble over the weekend?
Got about 15 seconds on it, dude. Go ahead.
Okay. I went up to the clerk and I said, hey, do you have Donald Trump's new book on how to deport illegal immigrants? And he said, in your voice, get the hell out of here and don't ever come back. And I said, yeah, that's the one. I need that in paperback.
Oh, all right, Gary. What's your calorie thing?
Chili's triple decker appetizer. It goes all the way up to 3,900 calories and 4,500 grams of sodium.
I love the sodium content on that. All right, Henry, let's hear some of the contenders here.
Well, I think Gary's got to be in there just for
yes, right.
Chili's triple dipper.
Yeah, that's true.
I also liked the answer of Stock's Bakery's pound cake. I think that's very specific. And Robert and Ben Salem's answer of Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, boy. So what's your favorite, though?
I mean, I'm a sucker for Thanksgiving dinner. I go all out at Thanksgiving. You want to see me eat calories, you come to my house at Thanksgiving.
And I go with Thanksgiving. The Stocks was very good, though. It was a good call. We'll put Robert and Ben Salem in. Yeah, we'll see. That's not a bad idea. I like that. Scott Presler, get him over to Jersey. That's a winnable governor's race. I'm hoping with Jack Ciattarelli. But whoever the Republican is, it's winnable. That would be the major event in this coming year. We want to get on the ground floor. All right, thanks to Henry for producing today. Dan, back tomorrow, I'm hoping, from a little bit of illness
crossed.
today. Yep. Follow on Twitter at DomShow1210, at DomShow1210. Rich is next for 4 big hours to start the week here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Dawn Stensland here. We're off to paradise once again. The Italian